Well, hello everybody. Happy sensational Saturday night. This is late for me. Welcome to my channel, Jen's Gems and Vintage Finds. And right now I'm going to do a live haul video. Actually an interactive haul video with all of you guys. You normally find me doing this in the afternoons, but today I actually had to go out and find some more goodies for all of you. So I always try to respect the other sellers here on YouTube. And Leslie had a phenomenal show as always. I know she gave me a shout out for you guys to come on over to see me. So hello, Mia. Hello, Leonore. Hope all of you guys are doing well. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on the way in. Appreciate you guys. Yes, this is very late for Jen. So bear with me. Yeah, it's okay. You guys just relax, just chill, get your favorite beverage, whatever you want to do. I know this is late. I'm on Central Time, so it's 11 o'clock for me. Hi, Karen. How are you? And so just kind of bear with me a little bit because my brain might not be as sharp this time of night because I'm usually in bed by now. But I always promise you guys a haul of what's going to be coming up for tomorrow afternoon. So how this works. Hi, Sandra. How are you? Oh, it's just at 12 o'clock in Australia. Wow. I always forget about that. Like a day ahead and I'm 12 hours away. So, hi, Sunray. How are you? I know this is late for me. So I'm going to try to do this relatively quickly because I don't want to keep you guys up past bedtime unless, I know Sandra's in Australia. She's on a whole different, she's halfway around the world. So she's on a whole different time zone. I wish I could be 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll be there tomorrow afternoon. So anyway, first of all, if you're new here, I shouldn't get new people here, but I'm on subscriber mode right now. But if you do, and you guys watch this video tonight, or whoever's going to be watching this video, if you're not registered at my channel, please register at my channel. What we need from you in order before the auction process tomorrow afternoon is your name, YouTube name, complete mailing address, phone number, and PayPal information. Unfortunately, I only ship within the continental United States this time. I love Sandra being here. I'm not just singling her out, but anyway, I do have international people, and I will always welcome everybody. But at this point, I only ship within the continental United States. Let's see. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you're not subscribed. Hit that little bell icon at the top of the page. Hi, Lulu. I know you guys are about to go to bed, but I figured I'd just come and give you guys a live haul interactive of what I usually do. Now, these things that I'm going to show you right now are things that you cannot pre-purchase prior to the auction tomorrow. So if tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Central does not work with you, or you have other plans or whatever you've got going on and you can't be at my live sale, don't fret. All you have to do is send me an email, say, Jen, at your live haul, such and such timestamp, or send me a screenshot and say, what is the information on this item? And I will give you the starting bid. I'll give you all the details on the item as much as I can. And then you can always leave me what we call an absentee high bid, which means is if I'm starting the price, let's say at $20, if you want to leave me an absentee bid on up to $50, I will bid in increments, just like you were live in this chat. I will have a note here on my table, and I'll put your little name on a note, and I'll say, I know I have an absentee bid on that piece, so I would just bid on your behalf at the auction. So it makes it very simple, very easy, and we go from there. So if there's anything previously, anything on my past shows and like that you've seen before, those are things you guys can send me email anytime. I'm very clear about that at my channel. All you do is send me an email. You saw the rings or earrings or whatever, even something back here. These are all things back here in my back set, which I usually try to do a weekly scan inventory of what I have right now. So if you watch my previous shorts, actually my shorts from last week are pretty much updated. There's a couple of things that got sold, but if there's something that you saw, just send me an email and say, hey, do you still have X, Y, and Z piece? And I say yes, and then I will hold it aside. I only do invoicing one time a week, which will be on Wednesday mornings. I do Sunday afternoon shows at 2 o'clock, and then do Tuesday afternoons at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow we're on for about 3 hours. Tuesday I'm on for 5 hours. So just so you know how that goes, it's going to be about 8 hours of airtime for the week. Then I do one invoice on Wednesday. It goes out to you guys. The sooner you pay, the sooner you guys get your stuff. Real simple and easy. Okay. So if I miss anything, yeah. So there, Leonore's the best in business. She's one of my mods, and she's wonderful, and she shares everything. I'm still trying to get used to this whole user ID situation. I'm not used to like trying to figure out. Sometimes it's most of the time it's everybody I know, but I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so what's that? There's numbers and letters and things like that I'm not used to see. So all right, so let me get going. You guys just saw the picture of my beautiful Native American cup. I'm sure you just saw that on the way in. If you didn't, I'm going to hold this up to the camera. And it's gorgeous. That's all I can say. I found this at my local antique store. And let me see if I can do this. Okay, so because my camera is a little bit, likes to focus on everything behind me instead of what we're showing. So give me a minute. So give me 1 second. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. I don't know how the weather is for everybody. Fall's here. Yes. Look at this. Now, what you're going to see probably is a reflection of my ring light in there, but this is sure right. Look at that purple. It is signed. Let me take this off of here. And I could, let me turn up my ring light just for a second. It might not be signed. My dark now. You guys want to see it. Let me see if I can come over this light. That much better. I like with the ring light on. It shows the color better when you get the reflection. That just tells you how wonderful grade of a polish it has. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, well, let me get this close up. And bear with me. I will try to do my nails tomorrow morning. I've been really cleaning and assessing jewelry all week, and unfortunately, I haven't had time to do my nails before I got in here. But it is signed on the back, right? There. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful cuff. Love the bezel on this, and I love the Charoite. Beautiful, beautiful stone. So that will be available tomorrow. Weighs about 37 grams, just to give you an idea. Okay. All right. Let me get that out of the way. And all right. So again, if you're new to my channel, I usually have a combination of costume to sterling to gold sometimes. So it all depends on what you're looking for. But let me give you some highlights. This week, if you're into costume, I found this unsigned brooch. It's unsigned. However, if you are a costume aficionado, you're going to know about this type of work. It's called grippoi. It's French, like poured. Get this close up. This cabochons. Look at that. Now, is again not signed. The condition on this is beautiful. It says glass. Here is the back. And you see how the stones are glass in there. It's all poured glass in these cabochons. And I have a feeling, and again, it's not signed. There is a company. This is vintage. Look at the back. You see all the lines in there. I have a feeling, I don't see a cartouche in here, but I have a feeling this could be a company name by the name of Sphinx. They did make some jewelry that was not signed, and this could be it. So look at the beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? I love what's going on in the glass. So I'll give you like a, turn the camera a certain way. You got sparkle. I love the pearls. It's just so rich and elegant. I mean, looks like something that would go on a prince or princess. I mean, on a suit, or you can wear this with a lapel, or I mean, it's just a beautiful brooch. So I fell in love with that. When will you let what get by with this time? Oh, my nails. Oh, because look at I was scrubbing. I've been scrubbing jewelry. You guys know I test everything, and I've been out and about. I haven't. And here's the thing, because I don't have time to get my nails done. I just go out and just do my thing, and I literally don't even. I'll have to get up in the morning, just take this off, and do another thing. Doesn't that look like 18 karat gold? I know, isn't that stunning brooch? Now look at this. And you guys also come to my show because you're like, never what Jenny's going to bring out. Look at this. This is Amazonite. Amazonite. All silk knotted. This is 80 inches long. So you can do so much with this. It's crazy. You can, let me put it on my bust. I have it here. You want to do it 4 times. You can add a brooch to this. It's just fabulous. Anytime I talk about it, I'm going to sound like a broken record. You guys are my regulars. You guys know what I do. But, you know, beads are always more costly to fashion than nuggets. Don't give nuggets a bad rap either. They're beautiful nuggets too. But the symmetrical of a bead is always going to be a little bit more desirable, always, and more work to go into it. And of course, when you add silk knotting on anything, that's all extra labor. So, all right, moving on. Now this is cool. Who do we know that lives near Niagara Falls, or how many of you guys been to Niagara Falls before? Well, I'm going to show you this. It's just something that's very old and the most excellent condition I think I've ever seen for something from the 1940s. This is reverse painted. You've been to Niagara Falls. Look at this. It's reverse painted. This is sterling silver. I'm going to try not to drop this, but let me see if I can try to hold this. But look at that. Reverse painted Niagara Falls. And it's 3-dimensional, if you guys can see that. But it's under glass there. And then here's the back. It says sterling on it right there. And I love the lattice. Oh, it's upside down. I love the lattice bezel on it. It's just amazing. This thing doesn't have, I'm looking at this glass. It's like perfect condition, like it was sitting in a drawer waiting for me to find it. That's how great this thing is. Like it's, oh. So I just thought it was a cool piece because, which I do have, I don't show it right now. I do have a pair of Morpho butterfly. Somebody was asking me if I ever got a pair for them or not. Somewhere along the line, somebody asked me for Morpho butterfly earrings, and I actually have a pair. I found it as well. So that tells you what are the kind of things I was finding this week. Here we go with this. Now this is Suarti. I've talked about this line a lot, Suarti, and made in Indonesia. This is amber, and 18-karat yellow gold and sterling silver. And again, what I love about the Balinese jewelry is that there's nothing that is like mass produced. They take every little piece of wire, every little bead, every little is all hand assembled on these pieces. So it's almost like a labor of love. I'll take this off of here. Look at this. Look at that amber. So it's 18-karat gold, all the yellow you're seeing. And then it's stamped on the back right there, 925 BA Indonesia 18K. And then that's a good thing to show because some of you guys don't say, how do I know it's 18 karat? Well, first of all, I'm going to test it. But also when you see, if you only see a 925 mark like this on a piece without the designation of 14 or 18K, then you know it's for May, right? If you have the extra signature of 18K or 14K or another metal there, that's indicating that they have to metal the gold content. There's restrictions on what they have to do, okay, in the international community when it comes to stamping metals and things like that. So I just thought I'd put that out there as well so you guys understand. And beautiful chain. I put this on a handmade woven chain to the, also, this one is not stamped in Indonesia. Sorry, again, I'm looking at my camera. Come on, camera. But it's a beautiful wheat chain. There you go. The hook clasp. Hi, Suzanne. How are you? If I'm missing anybody, I'm by myself. Joe's in bed, and I got to do a high fall. So you guys know what I'm going to show tomorrow. Okay. So this is beautiful necklace. I hope I don't lose my voice too. All right. Moving on. I also had someone gone not too long ago ask me for harmony balls. I actually have a harmony ball ring, but this is a necklace. You guys hear that jingle? I don't know if you're hearing the jingle. Again, sorry about my nails, but look at that. Look at all the wire work on this. Isn't that amazing? I put it on but I think this is 20-inch chain. Yep. 20-inch chain that makes a little noise. I know you could probably, guys, could say, well, You know, play. I know some of you. I don't own a cat, but I know that some of you guys do, and some of you guys sit there play their cat. You're like, what's going on with the kitty? You can have your own little charm ball, harmony ball, sterling silver, all sterling. All right, what else we got? All right. 60 inches. Beautiful glass. Silk knotted. You guys love when I bring these flapper necklaces. Sorry about it being so close to the camera. The beautiful cobalt blue. Come on, let's get focused. Thank you. And you guys love these. And look, where's that brooch again? Now, I bought this at the same time today. Watch. I know Miss Karen's. Dina, I think Dina's here, but if you guys watch Karen in Montreal, she kind of does this, and then she'll take a brooch, and then you can also put a brooch. Like here we go, before I showed out earlier. Look how fabulous this looks. I said, I don't know. I said, that's going on with Jenny. Because I know you guys are going to love that. How elegant is that? I'm sorry, but when you just put that together, that's fabulous. I mean, come on. All right. So there's some glass. I got a little bit of everything. I did get a lot of, I'm going to show you guys some stuff here. Then I have like a 1940s sterling brooch. I had a few of these maybe like around Christmas time last year, and then they're really hard to find. These are getting hard to find, guys, for me at least. I don't know, but beautiful sterling silver floral brooch. Now the pin backing goes this way, so you can wear the pin vertically. You can wear it this way. It has a pearl and the rhinestone. You could wear it this way. The best way I can describe this stone is more of like almost like in person. If it's coming across the screen that way, it looks like a deep emerald green. Okay. And I just thought this was really, really beautiful brooch. Holidays coming around. You don't want to be so traditional, but you like to wear colorful piece or even a red sweater. You know, you could do it that way, but it doesn't have to be, you know, a Christmas brooch per se. You can wear this even, let's say, even St. Patrick's Day. You can just wear this and just feel up green, you know. Hi, Steven. How are you? Good to see you. This is late night with Jen. You normally don't find me up this late, but I'm doing my live haul for tomorrow, and Leonore's sharing your channel, and Steven's such a sweet man. He's out in Las Vegas. And I will come visit you sometime, like everybody knows I do. But that's one of Jill and I like to go to Vegas. They take care of us out there. All right, look at this. Look at this guy. So what this is costume, but he is they call this the totem pendant. Could be a Maya or Inca, but this is glass, okay? But look at it. Look at he's three-dimensional. I can get this sideways. See how he sticks out like that? Now, I will notice everything. One of the little glass pieces is missing here in the bail. But I think quite honestly, you can just wear it the way it is. I mean, unless you're really perfectionist. But this is a rare piece. This is made by a company called Castle Cliff. Castle Cliff. This was made in 1973. Okay. And here it is stamped on the back right here, Castle Cliff. And it was designed by a gentleman named Larry Verba. And it's actually a very rare piece from Castle Cliff. If you know Castle Cliff, I've had brooches from the company before. There actually they weren't, I don't believe they were in production that long, from my understanding. But when they did pendants, it's not something they would make a lot of. They were more famous for their brooches. And so they made this in all the turquoise colored glass pieces. And then there's also one that has red, was like right coral, dark blue to represent lapis, and I think green for malachite glass. This is the like the turquoise simulated version of it. But again, he's a really cool. I mean, look how margin in charge he is. I mean, isn't he just fabulous? So he's not. It's just it's base metal. It's not sterling, but beautiful, beautiful to represent almost like a petit point design. Isn't he cool? So yeah, I picked him up today. So we'll have to come up with a name. You guys are gonna, I know we have my friend Leslie as Mayan Ryan, but I don't know. We're gonna call him Totem Tom or something. I don't know, but we'll figure out something. Yeah, it could be a book piece, Stephen. Yeah. Yeah, it's a fabulous piece. And then if that wasn't, I told you I got some brooches. Let me grab some water here real quick. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up, you guys, on the way in. Now look at this. I went from Egyptian Revival. I believe this to be Czech glass Pharaoh brooch. This is not sterling silver. I'm going to show you the back. Look what's all going on in the back. Look how old this is. Again, sorry about my fingernail polish. I'm going to get there with that in the morning, but isn't he just grand? It's very rare if you can find it. Now, you guys understand this is probably a good 90 years old. So one of the little rhinestones is chipped. It could be replaced, but it's still the original rhinestone. It just has a little bit of a chip in it. But isn't that just fabulous? Okay. So he is here. I'm just trying to show you the things that knock your socks off tonight. I do have sterling silver earrings today. I bought some, but I can't just show you now. It's just to give you guys a little heads up what's going to be on tomorrow. This is a signed Zuni piece. If anybody collects Zuni, this is signed by the maker M.A. Boone Zuni. It's on an 18-inch box chain, and it is signed on the back there with the signatures right there. Inlay. Beautiful. Okay. You love Zuni, Suzanne? Well, we got Zuni for you, my dear. All right, what else? Okay. Let me go to the other end of the spectrum, I guess, if you want to call it that. We have Chinese export. Cloisonne articulated fish pendant. Both sides, both enameled. Supposed to bring luck, like a little koi fish. And it did come, I got this again from my local antique mall. This is the little pouch he came in. I'm not saying that's where, but I will say that you're going to get the pouch if you want it. But if you look at this, I want to show it to you. You guys see what, let me see if I can try to hold this up. Saudi Arabia. The souvenir store in Saudi Arabia. So this probably came from China, but it was shipped to Saudi Arabia. And that's where this person picked this piece up. At least that it came in. That's what I got from them. If it's true or not, I don't know, but it did come with it. So from that, take it for what it is. I wasn't there when it was purchased or bought originally. So all I can tell you is what I find it and I bring it to you. So it is going to come in a little pouch if you want the pouchy. That's what I'm talking about, Chinese export. They ship it all over the world. Oh, thank you, Stephen. Which ones are you talking about, the Czech pieces? Are you talking about the Czech? I still have the gold fill pieces still, too. So I have all those still. most of them. Oh, okay. Now this is if you're I have brooches. I told you I got brooches. The gold fill ones, yes. And I still have that 14 karat gold enameled cross too. This is Elizabeth Taylor for Avon. This is heavy. Now everybody's gonna knock like, you know, oh, it's Avon. Okay, it's not big, not nice quality. Elizabeth Taylor, when she made her paces, and it's signed right here with a big E on it. Elizabeth Taylor for Avon. This is what they call a passion flower brooch. Rose brooch. Passion flower rose brooch. And please do your comps on this brooch because believe it or not, this is very, very pricey and rare and collectible. Look, and this is heavy. This weighs 64, almost 65 grams. For a brooch to weigh 65 grams, you know that they meant this to be worn, loved, and appreciated for generations. That's no chintzy making jewelry there. That's, I mean, they put, even if it's base metal, that is still a lot of weight for a brooch. They, you know, look at the detail. Beautiful, beautiful brooch. So, all right. And it wouldn't be a show for all my cat lovers without a cat. I have a couple cat brooches actually. Where's the other one at? We've got Halloween around the corner. Can't believe it's already almost here. Where's the other one at? I got two cats. This one's Monet. Little enamel Monet, signed Monet with a little collar. Blingy collar and emerald eyes, emerald colored eyes. Beautiful condition. And then I also have an ultra craft kitty brooch. He's fat. He's fat, but he's cute. So I know I'm always keeping them for all the little critters for everybody. Seem to find cats more than dogs. All right. Speaking of which, what else can I show you? Let's see. All right. Steven, since you're here, I might as well, and I know you love the flash of Las Vegas. I have two pairs of Richard Kerr, if I'm saying Kerr, my Midwest accent. Sorry about that, guys. Kerr earrings. Look at the flash. Very collectible, very desired earrings named Richard. Kerr is the last name. And I've got this pair. Look at the detail. Look, it goes all the way around. These are clipped with the signature on inside. So I've got this pair here. And then I also have, rare enough to find one pair versus two. Now this one's out of the park. Look at this pair. Hold on. Everybody hold on to their seats. Beautiful. I mean, come on. You're walking in a casino, you wearing these, girlfriend, look at those things. You'll be seeing you across the way. And then look at the back. Now, it's only at the first one I showed you, they're on the back. Now, this one, he did it with the enameling. So there's two ways you can make these earrings. You know, the continuation around the back, but also this one has the enameling on the back. But look at those earrings. OMG. So if you are a collector, Richard, if you want to see a signature, I'll show you real quick. Hold on. Here's a signature. So you guys are like, what is she talking about? Richard Kerr. And his earrings can go look up Richard Kerr and you just see comps on these and you'll be like, huh? Yeah. But look at the amount of work. Could you imagine sitting down and trying to put all that in an earring? Look how the labor it would take to do that. That's why his prices on his boutique earrings like this are very pricey. So, yes. All right, put that back in there. a Germany Victorian revival necklace. So, again, what Stephen was alluding to a couple weeks ago, if you guys are watching my show, I still have a lot of the gold-filled Victorian morning jewelry. It seems like I find these type of pieces all in a row. People ask me, and like, I go months on end, and they'll say, "Do you have any of this?" And I don't, and then all of a sudden I find a whole bunch at the same time. Or they're like Art Deco or Victorian or, type of thing. Look at this. This is glass, but this is all brass. Look at the detail. And if I can get this close, let me see if I can do this with a camera. That's what I pay extra all this money for this wonderful camera. And I want you to see the detail of the links. You guys see this? Detail right there. You just don't find that on new jewelry these days. You just don't. Okay. It comes down to this beautiful pendant. I've got this like really zoomed in, guys, so you can see this, but I mean, let's look at the detail on making that. Okay. So it is here. Sorry, now I got you guys zoomed in way too fast. So how's everybody doing? Everybody getting ready for holidays? You won't even think about them yet? Do you just... Now these, I told you I had some sterling earrings. These are signed Diadema. Diadema, that's a very famous manufacturer of Italian earrings in Italy. Diadema. D-Y-A, I gotta spell. Spelling is not my thing. D-Y-A-D-E-M-A. Beautiful infinity loop earrings. These are 2.5 inches long. And I love when they have the little clip backs like that. And you see that little piece right there says Diadema on each earring. Beautiful earrings. Okay. And then if Italian earrings not your jam, I also have Mexican earrings. These are spiral dangle made in Mexico. So I thought these were cool. Jim's got the goodies. Thanks, Stephen. That's a compliment from you. You always have a whole bunch of things at your show. Always do. My weakness for me is I just stay up too late. I don't remember to see everything. All right, what else do I have here? Okay, Amber. I told you about Amber. I might as well show them to you. Beautiful amber earrings. They're pierced ears. I love the modern simpleness of this, but it's sleek. And just wearing those together, just even on a black top, just make a color, and they do glow. Okay. So, and I always, every time I see Amber, I always want to send some extra thoughts and prayers to our friend Marzena. She was at the show with me last week, but I always think I've been reading some posts, and I know she's going through some health issues. So I always want to say an extra time I see Amber, I always think of Marzena. So Marzena, if you're gonna watch this feed, or everybody thinks send some prayers to Marzena, I'm sure she'd appreciate it. She's a wonderful lady. Let's see. Okay, now I did come across this set. It comes in the original box. Okay, now this company Stour, okay, they make a lot of what I would call either their take on real jewelry in their terms. How should I explain it to you that way? What you find from them is not necessarily what people think it is. Okay, how should I explain it to you that way? But when you open this up, you will be looking. Let me put this on the bus so you can see it better. And this is where it's really important that you guys deal with people who Sorry, I've been talking a lot today, so my voice is about to go. First glance at this, you guys are probably gonna think, oh, that looks like emeralds, right? Well, quite frankly, yeah. I mean, some instances you do find these what they call commercial grade emeralds, and then they dye them to be a certain color. However, and you actually do, and this is where it pays to know what you're doing. If you actually Google image this even with this cover, you'll come up with say emeralds. These are not emeralds. This is actually when you put it on the Presidium, this actually goes into almost topaz. Okay, in the topaz range, which emerald is only lower on the scale. So what is in that range is a gemstone called fuchsite. Fuchsite, okay, and it's fuchsite. They call it mermaid green fuchsite with kyanite. So kyanite is, if you guys have seen my show, you've seen kyanite usually comes in blue. Well, it also can come in a mixture with this other mineral called fuchsite, and when it comes together, it turns this green, and you'll find these black streaks in there, very similar in color, like I said, to emerald, and that's why it pays to know what you're testing at. Now, the piece is sterling silver, okay? If you guys have been watching a lot of channels or things like that, India is known for a lot of this simulated stuff like this. They'll come out with some gemstones, or there's sometimes glass, or they'll come out with certain things and they'll put them in what they call sterling silver plate. This is testing sterling. I test everything, the ear wires, the bezels, everything. It is marked 925 on the back. It's just that first glance, people think, oh, it's an emerald. Well, you can tell them what you want. You want to tell them what it is, but to me, it's not an emerald. So I'm not going to sell it as an emerald. But what I'm trying to get at is Stour is a company that they usually do put out things like this, and they'll say, oh, if you want the look, I actually found the original advertisement for this necklace, this set. And they actually, in their advertisement, they're actually showing that they're saying, oh, this is if you want to have the look of emeralds, blah, blah, blah. But they never actually tell you what the stone is in the advertisement. You actually can find this on, from when it was made in, like, I think it was in the 80s or so. And they don't tell you what the stone is. So everybody assumes that, oh, because it said it looked like emeralds, they think it's emerald. That's not emeralds. But it's still a sterling silver. It's a gorgeous necklace. That's what I do. It's nicely, actually very nicely made. Okay, it is start 925. But, when you find things out in the wild, I know that people love green and they'll just love it for what it is, right? But I just want to tell you, that's why that's why we do what we do. At least in my channel, I know that I try to do the best I can in doing things. Do I make mistakes? Of course I do. Every human being makes mistakes. What I'm trying to get at is that just because if you find an advertisement for something, you still have to do the testing on it. But beautiful stones. I mean, really pretty. Okay. But you'll get it in the box. All right. Let's see. Oh. And then last, let's see. Well, let's see a couple of things I can show. Coral. If it is not on your radar, I'm highly suggesting it what should be, if it's not by now. Finding coral, abalone, spiny oyster. I'm trying to think anything else coming out of the ocean right now. I'm trying to think of, well, culture pearls are always going to be desirable, but especially coral. This is intertwined with mother of pearl. It's gold tone, but that's okay. You have the beautiful mother of pearl. And then you have these beautiful branches, little piece of coral. Gold. I don't know if this is gold. It's just gold tone. I didn't test the beads. I think it's just either they're gold plated or gold filled. I don't know. I know they're not solid gold. But beautiful. Simple. Wear that casual. You can dress it up, dress it down. But this is, everybody's asking for me to find more coral. So I got this at a really good price. You're going to get a really good deal on that. That being said, I also found a retired Silpata necklace this week. This has 8 strands. Perfect for fall. This is Silpata, which surprised me. I did not know. Again, I learned things too along the way, guys. I mean, I did not know that Silpata actually worked with pearls. I did not know that. And if you look at the clasp, somewhere on here is the little, I forgot where it was, but there is the little arrow mark on the clasp attachment, which I had no idea. But isn't it beautiful? Fall, I mean, the perfect time of year for this necklace right now. We can wear it all year, but I mean, especially going in the fall with the browns it's beautiful. Okay. All right. And let's see. Oh, I'll show this ring. Here's another perfect example. Now, when I test the stone, and I want you to kind of draw your attention to the polish of the stone. I talk about, there's what in gemology, we talk about luster. Okay. Luster is the polish or the top of the gemstone. What is it doing? You guys can kind of get a sense that this is going to get what I call a waxy appearance to it. It's not high shiny. It's not like a shine appearance to it. Now that being said, gemstones can have lacquers or sealants put on them to add to that. That's not what's going on here. I believe this is what this is. This is serpentine. Okay. Well, in other words, we call this old jade. Some people, if you Google image this ring, it will come up turquoise. It's not turquoise. Turquoise wouldn't look like this. You wouldn't see the black streaks in it like that. Not like with this type of luster. You guys can see that. See how it kind of looks like that? It is sterling silver. Did test it. But beautiful ring. It's a size 8 1/4. I'm going to take out my other ring. I'll just put it on for you. Pretty. So serpentine. I've had serpentine before. I love the bezel on this ring. That's why I bought it. This is a newer ring. This is made by it's the stamp on this says CFJ. If you don't know what CFJ is, I know a lot of you guys have that from that company, CFJ. It's Collins Ford Jewelry is what it's called. Jewelry line. That's the name of the company. So pretty nice ring though. I got that. All right. Well, that's pretty much, I think. I mean, I'll have more things tomorrow. Unless I'm missing anything that I totally wanted to show you. This is what else I've got here. Oh, I do have okay, let me show you these couple things and then I'll begin. I do have, for those of you who love crosses, this is a brooch / pin. Brooch / pendants. I told you this is why Jenny's brain doesn't work. Brooch / pendant. Signed Mexico 925. But look at the bail. You can put this through some beads if you want to. I just thought this was really, really cool. Okay. And then lastly, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful left facing brooch. Look at her. 900 silver lady. And again, look at the work. Beautiful. So those things will be up tomorrow. come back to the camera and say hello and hi, Elizabeth. You just got. How was your concert? What did you see tonight? Tell me all about it. I want to hear. You love them. Isn't that beautiful, Mia? Oh, Elizabeth. Well, I haven't cleaned it up yet, but let me show you. I'm gonna give you now. I'll show you guys something. Since Stephen saw my Victorian, Stephen, did you see my check pieces last week? I know my viewers did, but I'm going to show you. Well, let me zoom my camera down here for a minute. So if you guys missed it, yeah, what concert did you go see? Tell us about it. What was it? I'm trying to put this over here. I don't want this to fall on the ground. Concert in Richmond for the Richmond Symphony Heart Chopin and Rachmaninoff pieces. Ooh. Isn't Rachmaninoff now? If I remember, I did take classical music in college. I had to take a music class. I do remember. It's been a few years, but Elizabeth, so bear with me a bit. But isn't Rachmaninoff the one that does the real intense, serious, and very I might be wrong, but I know that a lot of them do it. But I thought Rachmaninoff was really more the intense music that composer did. Really intense music. What you're looking at here is these are the pieces I've shown last week. These are all my check pieces, not all of them, because you guys see something that's coming up here. Look at these pieces. These are check glass pieces, phenomenal condition. Stephen, where are you? Look at this. Can you imagine walking down Las Vegas Boulevard wearing this? Look at that. It's signed Hussar D. Look at this. Look at the condition. Look at the color. When is the last time you've seen this much color in check pieces and this condition? Look at this. I mean, look at the pot. It's like it just came out of the factory. It's beautiful. Watermelon. There's that one. And then look at this one. I mean, there's so much you can pick, so many you want. This is all from one owner. Look at the condition of the stones. You just don't find check pieces with this much intensity and the fact in this good of a condition. Also signed Hussar D. Bruce is telling me it's David Hussar, but I don't want to say if it's wrong. And then this is my favorite. I love this bracelet more than life itself. Look at this. Look at the Rivolis. Look at the condition. Again, look. No scratches, no like. I'll put it on with, well, have it on with my. I guess you could rock it with my sterling bracelet if you want to, but my gosh, look at that. Here's the back. Look, also signed right there. Again, apologize for my nails. I'll fix that tomorrow, but look at that. All right, and then I know, Elizabeth, I'm tempting you. I know I'm just like, This one's signed by Cuts, Kutz. Check. It's just amazing. And then the piece of the Vista stones, which I just got, and I still have to. I wanted to clean it up before I showed it to you, but let me get this on a bus. And again, I'm gonna clean it up. And there's a way you can clean these up without damaging it all. But can you imagine this? Let me get this clasp so I don't drop it. Last thing I want to do is drop it. This is gonna be my project tomorrow morning. I could probably get it done. Look at this. And if you guys know anything about check glass and check pieces, look at this. This has pearls in it. When's the last time you saw pearls? I believe this is signed Hussar. Yes, this is also Hussar signed piece. Look at that. Pearls in a check glass piece. Also in the collar. See that? Where's my pen? See? Pearls. Very rare. I don't think anyone has ever seen one. I have never seen one with pearls in it. And this goes all the way around. Has the little extender in the back. This is just one of those things that you just say, OMG. If you love check and you know about your check pieces, this is so rare. This is like way off the charts. Way off the charts because you just don't find pearls in check. You just don't. Just like cameo glass. You don't find the cameo glass in check. So, and this is before now. You guys are going to see the before now. I haven't, tomorrow I'm going to kind of give this a little bit of there's a way I clean it. And that's how I got to look like this. So this just got in the door. I'm literally going to show that. I mean, that's going to be my project tomorrow morning before I do my show. And I'm going to be very careful with it and clean this up for you guys to see. But again, let me show you that's not signature. Look, check. And that's how check is supposed to look. So all of you go know, what am I talking about? Czechoslovakia, they were known to make this jewelry anywhere from the 30s to the 50s. And some of them are signed by the maker. In this case, it was Hussar, period D. Bruce, I've talked to Bruce, who says David Hussar. I don't know if it's a David or not. I never found a book that says his name in it. I might be wrong, but somebody, again, could school me on it. But look at that. I mean, absolutely stunning, stunning piece. And look, red. Red is, I mean, I do know about glass a little bit. In glass, typically red is the most expensive color to make in glass. If they're talking about rhinestone, poured glass, because it takes, I believe it does take some material of gold to do it. So in some manner of the formula. So it's just a stunning necklace. I haven't even priced this yet, but it is going to be probably one of the more expensive pieces that's in the tray here because you just do not find the pearls in the Hussar line. Or if there's a line, if you want to call it that. And again, it's all about the color and the condition and what's here. And so I literally just unboxed that and it is here with all those other pieces. So great pieces. So anyway, it is David is correct. Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. So I am correct. Okay, I did not know that. I was trying to find it, but I did a little research on it. But I do know about construction and colors and things like that. But I did not know that was actually the name. And then, like I said, the other signature that's there is KUTZ, and then there's a hyphen with CZ, mean CZ standing for Czechoslovakia. I do know that because I don't think. Those aren't CZs, those are rhinestones. So I know they didn't have CZs back then. Anyway, thank you guys for being here with me tonight. If you're those who stayed up, and I didn't want to keep anybody up too late, I do enjoy having all you guys here. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet for being here tonight, please do so. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's free, and I appreciate it very much. We just hit 1,000 subscribers about a week and a half ago. So I'm very blessed, and thank all of you for doing that and being with Joe and I for the last 2.5 years. And so we couldn't do this if it wasn't for all of you. With that being said, we'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central, which I guess that would be 12 o'clock Pacific or 3 p.m. Eastern. So, and if you're on, I guess, Mountain, that would be 1. Somewhere. So figure out what time zone you're on. Figure it out. You guys can always send me an email if there's something here on these are the new pieces. Well, except for I have shown the check, most of the tray, except for this new necklace, but I've shown all the check. If you're interested in any of these pieces and you want to reach out to me, I will give you the starting bids on these pieces. But how it works at my show, for those of you who don't know, I don't pre-sell items that are new. Once it goes up on the auction block and it is passed, then it's first come, first serve. So what that means is if those of you that are new to my show, my husband, Joe, is here when we do live sales together. He's monitoring my emails as well as live chat at the same time. So in the meantime, if I pass on an item, don't be surprised that, hey, I didn't see it sell on my live sale, Jen. And you guys are questioning, well, what happened to it? Well, I do have people watching that don't participate in the chat. That does happen a lot at my channel. So just to give everybody fair warning. So there are people watching and then they'll send him emails while the show's going on. If you see something behind me, happen to glance at something behind my show or watch the previous live, if it's still here, I'll let you know. Just send me an email, jensgemsfinds@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to tell you the information about it. If I still have it, what the price is, what's going on. And then if you want me to hold it aside, I do invoicing one time a week, which will be on Wednesday morning. And then the sooner you guys pay the invoice, the sooner those lovely pieces go home to you. I've been very blessed with all of you guys recently, especially, which I love getting the emails and the photographs of you guys being so enamored with everything that you're receiving from me. And it makes us feel more appreciated, especially from both of our ends, because my husband has helped me with our business. We work as a team. And first of all, thank him for that. But also, I know you guys thank him for that too. But also understand that it makes us motivated to go find more wonderful pieces for you guys to see. So just again, we have wish lists. We have a running wish list for everybody. I do the best I can, what I can find. But again, when we go do what we have to do, depends on what's going to be out there and what a good price is going to be if I can bring it to you guys. So hi, Carrie, how are you? Sorry, I've been banging. I didn't see you came in. Hello, how are you? So yeah, so yeah, we've been receiving some nice email lately from everybody, which makes us really, really excited and thrilled, and it fills the heart and soul. That's what I always say about everybody that I try to do for people, not only for my friends and I call you guys my jewelry friends. I know that people go through some hard times personally and professionally. And I think that just sometimes you just reflect on what's important. And I think that's something that I like to pay it forward to people. And you never know if if you guys are here, you don't have to buy a thing from Joe and I or me, Joe and me. It's just the point is that you guys support the channel. And just by you being here and spending your precious time with us and giving a thumbs up and subscribing means the world to me. And we do giveaways at my show, and that's on our dime. So if you buy something from me, or if you don't have to buy anything, but if you do win something from me on a giveaway, I send it out. I don't keep it here to keep it at my house, because for me is that if I'm going to if you guys are going to win something from me, Joe and I want to send it to you. That's our gift for being here for you. So we send those gifts out to you on our dime. We don't hold them. We get them out to you. So you can keep it. You can give it as a gift, but it's our appreciation for you guys to be here. And I think that's important for you guys to know. I just think that, being clear and open with all of you is what I do. And that's why I always kid around with everybody. It's kind of an inside joke, but I am probably the worst poker player in the world. If I went to Vegas, I don't play poker because I'm too emotional. You guys will know that I'm either really mad or really happy. That's the way I'm only like my two ways I go. So that's probably why I stick to slots, but that's another story. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that I'm trying to be very forthcoming with how people need to be treated with respect, love, and kindness. And I think that sometimes you just take a step back from everything and just take it all in and say, I appreciate you guys being here. A simple thank you goes so much these days. And I just wanted you guys to understand, all 17 of you guys are still here listening to me right now, that it means so much, and it fills our hearts that hopefully that we do the same thing for you. And I have this on my desk. If you guys haven't seen this before, every time I come to my desk, this is what it says on my desk. It's a lovely paperweight. I got this out when I was thrifting one day, and I said, that's going to stay on my desk. And it's actually signed on the back, but I don't really, it's just, it's a beautiful, beautiful paperweight. And I bring it up just to remind myself that do what I'm doing, because if you don't know this, I did work in the hospital field for 6 years in the emergency department, and I've seen it all. Okay. So when I did jewelry, or was I in the jewelry for 26 years prior to that, I took a step back because that part of my life got a little bit changed up. So I took a step back and I said, let me try something new. And I went into healthcare. So, and God bless our nurses, God bless the doctors and everybody else who works in medical field, because that's the hardest job you have to do. Um, so when I started doing this channel, if you don't know, was during COVID. And my husband was watching. He found YouTube, and so he said, he was watching YouTube, and he actually saw a couple of you guys are still on here, some of your channels, and he says, Jenny, you probably can add so much to the community with all your gem knowledge, because I am a gemologist. I did go to the GIA in 1994. That's the Gemological Institute of America, in case you guys don't know what the GIA stands for. That's the place where people, if you send your gemstones or your diamonds or things like that to get assessed or graded, it goes there. Now, there's different locations around the world. Um, their original location was in Santa Monica, California. That's where I went to school, which is outside of Los Angeles. They have now moved to Carlsbad, California. So, but yes, it's the very pinnacle of probably where people go to for school for training, and I'm very blessed to have gone there. And so, if you ever have a question on anything, I try to answer it as much as I can within my knowledge and power. If I can't get back to you right the second with an answer, it doesn't mean I'm not trying to ignore you. I may have to do some research on it. But I always encourage you guys to always ask questions. There's never a dumb question. My father taught me that. He's up in heaven right now, but he always told me, he always gave me the very simple things in life. He said, Jenny, there's never a dumb question to ask ever. Because we know what a question does. A question actually is a sign of intelligence. Because that means you're listening to the other person. You say, I don't quite understand what you're saying to me. Or can you explain another way? So if everybody ever says to you, well, you ask too many questions, that's actually saying that you're a smart person. So just keep that in mind. All right. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that little bit of information. I know that some of you want to know how I feel. It's been 2 months now since I've been full time doing this full time. Since August 8th. It's been interesting for sure. A lot more work, a lot more inventory I have to find for 2 shows a week, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I do appreciate you guys being here and supporting the channel. And hi, Marche, how are you? I missed to say hello. I've been gabbing. But yeah, it's thank you for the love. I see the little floating hearts out there. And yeah, and this is kind of late night for me. It's 12 o'clock. Wow, it's midnight already for me here. But anyway, I just wanted you guys to understand that's it's fun. I love what I do. I hope it comes across the screen that way. That's why I'm trying to just people know me. That's who I am. I'm just a very happy person as I try to be. But there's times when I just have my days too, just like everybody else. Hi, Constance. I'm the gem lady to Constance. She calls me the gem lady. How you doing, my dear? But yes, and if you guys ever have a question or concern or something you want to talk to me about off air, I'm always here to listen. You can always send me an email. My email's right here. And appreciate you guys. So I don't know if you guys have anything you want to talk about right now, but I do want to say that I just feel like sometimes when you're in the, I should say, in the routine of life. I don't know if that's a word, phrase I can use. Sometimes in the routine of life, going through daily things that we do, sometimes you just gotta say, you know what? I'll take a step back and say, what's important? Important thing is that you're up, living, hopefully smiling, in a good mood. But I understand people have different trials and tribulations go through. And for me, YouTube is that therapy for me. I feel that I can come in here and explain things to you guys, or be in people's chats that are also resellers that that are true, dearer to me, and share my information. But again, I'm not going to be the one that knows everything. Nobody in the world knows everything. So I always express to you guys that's where education comes in, and that's where learning comes in. If you want to learn more about a certain gemstone or the medicinal properties of the stone, or the hardness of the stone, or whatever, there's things that you can look at, such as books, things like that. But also that, if you want to learn more about something, just go ahead and pick up and learn more about it, or ask questions. That's what I'm here for. So yeah. So but yeah, in the meantime though, don't, people want to knock each other down, and I don't like that. I don't think that that's that's a good thing to do. I think if you just don't like what you see, and you always ask yourself, how can I learn more about that myself? Put the power in yourself in your own hands and say, you know what? Let me read more about that myself because you find it interesting, that's appealing to you, then I think you should learn more about it. So that's all I'm going to say about that because I do know that there's been some, I don't know what you want to call it, rumblings or whatever in YouTube land about what people know, don't know, this or that. And I'm pretty clear and clairvoyant about that. At least I try to be. Um, and That's how I think about it. So just be kind to one another. It's harder to be positive than negative. If you ever think about that, everybody's and being asking a question is a sign of intelligence. Always knowing that. So thank you, Thelma. That means a lot to me coming from you, and good to see you, my dear. Um, I, anyway, yes, just kindness matters. That's all I'm gonna say. Kindness matters, and you know, I, again, I'm a human being. I make mistakes. I've had my breaking point too, but also understand that I've also come across when you think about a situation, I'll be the first to go back and say I'm wrong. I'll be the first to go back to somebody and say I apologize. I did this wrong, or what can I do to make it better? Um, I don't think that's saying that there's a fault on me per se, but sometimes it's just the meaning of the minds. And I think what hate to say it, but I come from my mom, if you ever met my mother, you guys, some of you, she's been on camera on my show a couple times. Um, she kind of makes things very simple. My parents are very simple people, but my dad now, he's passed away, but they basically told me, they said, Jenny, if you treat people with kindness and respect, receive what you give. So my point is I might be too much for some people to take in right away. It's like, well, who's this girl who's going to give all this gem knowledge to people? Well, I feel like sometimes maybe that's my thing. Maybe I do go over too much, but I also think that's how much I love to share the information that's out there. And that's why I said always do your own research about what's out there. But that's how much that's when Joe, my husband, found YouTube and he says, Jenny, you can add so much to the community. Because I see a lot of people at the time were like, well, I know what this is. I don't know what it is, but it's really, really pretty. So, I mean, so for me, I'm sitting there like, oh, that's this is this. And I'm naming stones off by you guys showing the other moderators down here and they're showing their jewelry. And I said, oh, I'm not trying to cut anybody down. It's just, I was like, well, maybe we should just go over that. And I try to go in people's chats and I'm trying to, and most of the time, most people are very receptive to that. But at the same time is that I have been rejected a few times, but I also know that, okay, that's fine. Everybody's got their parameters of how they want to run their channels. And I have no problem with that. I just said, if you ever have a question, send me a picture, or if you want me there, let me know. And I'm open to what everybody wants. And in the meantime, I just focus on my channel and we just keep going and trying to be, but I always know that guys know the olive branch is there for me. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about it. The olive branch is always there for me. And if there's something you guys have a problem with, then we'll just talk about it. Simple. It's not like, why does it have to be so much drama and all this other stuff that has to be dragged on? So I just say, leave it at that. So yeah, I'm learning that too, Thelma. I've learned that too. And I have to say something. I mean, I know I put you on the spot, my dear, but for those of you who don't know, I have two sons. Okay, my oldest is 25, and my youngest is 22. Okay, and my oldest child had 15 months old. He was diagnosed with autism. Okay, and I have to say, Thelma, I don't know how you do it. That's one lady has more patience in the world that I love her to death because I haven't even met her in person, but just the fact that her temperament and her consistent passion for helping educate our children is just something that I can't thank her. I can't thank. I mean, she wasn't my son's teacher. She's in Texas, but I remember doing with the system with when you have a child with autism, it's really hard because it's a very broad spectrum. There's children with very high IQ levels, and there's some that need a lot more extra help versus on the nonverbal. So think of a big, huge umbrella, and then there's some on each end, and there's some in the middle. So when you say, "Oh, that's simple," oh, it's like saying, I don't know how we can explain that. Basically saying, oh, my son has brown hair. how many kids have brown hair, right? I mean, or something like that. It's very simple. So you have to kind of bring it down. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that Thelma's a wonderful lady, and I can totally understand why she has jewelry and things as her passion, because that's what I was doing. I was doing jewelry at first, and then I got into something else like healthcare. So I really learned my passion about understanding other people's wants and what they're really what's important in life. And I think having that sidetracked to work in the hospital field for as long as I did, 6 years, it taught me a lot. A simple thing in life, getting a pillow, saying thank you, saying getting a blanket, getting just treating people with respect. I mean, come on, that's all I'm at, you know. So, but sometimes when you're dealing with in a corporate level, such as a hospital, sometimes you're dealing with a whole bunch of different things happening at the same time. So that's why I kind of decided to leave. This I know that this was I love what I do here, but I felt that I still wanted to still give another 8 months at the hospital for when I decided to leave, before I decided to leave. And it finally got to that point. I was at that crossroads and I said, nope, that's it. But I mean, do I miss the people? Of course I miss the people and the patients. So um, I just want to redirect. I'm trying to catch up here. Yes, thank you, Leonor, for sharing Thelma's channel. Yes, you do learn to see life differently, don't you, Thelma? When you are in, and I hate using analogies. My parents I was always one to say a lot of analogies in life, and I use down in the trenches. Um, and yeah, when you see things like that, it really makes you appreciate what's important. And with that being said, I want to be a downer at my channel, but I also understand that this is why also makes me want to be a better person, and trying to wake up every morning and say, I want to give the best to my viewers as well as to give the best to the people I meet. You'd be surprised. Like today, I'm out at a antique mall or thrift store. I sat there. I saw people about 20 feet away from me at the. I was going out the door from a place I was thrifting, and I stood there because I saw them kind of like only about 15 feet there. I stood there at that door. I stood it there at the door, holding the door open for them, and they're looking at me like I was crazy. And I said, "No, I'll get the door for you." And the son, it was a son, like a 15-year-old son, and his mother were coming in, and the son was like, "That was very nice of you, ma'am." And I said, "Well, holding a door open. I mean, seriously." But that's what I do. I mean, I feel like, if I can do something as simple as that, you never know who you're going to touch that day. I've come across people in the emergency room that they said, "Jenny, you're the one who actually cared." And I've dealt with people all different walks of life. I've dealt with people but at the end of the day, if you think about it, it's not a matter how much you make, it's not a matter what you earn, it's not a matter of what you, um, what status you live, how big of a house you have, what kind of car you have. At the end of the day, what are you doing on the face of this earth that you're going to give to other people? And that's how I feel that I do, at least that I have at my juncture at this channel, that I'm trying to help you guys get excited about jewelry, how to look at jewelry when you're assessing jewelry up and down. But in the meantime, go back to basics. And that even goes back to being a human being sometimes. And then sometimes I don't know, sometimes either people don't like it. In fact, I'm direct. But then some people think I'm talking down to them. I don't know. I can't make everybody happy. I've also learned that from my husband. Says, "Jenny, you can't make everybody happy. You just be you. You be genuine Jenny." That's what he calls Jenny. You just be you. And either they're going to like you or they can just flip the other channel. That's all I can say. I can't make it easier than that. So I don't know what else I can say about it than that. But yes, thank you guys for being here. I don't want to go on my big old pedestal speech, but that's how I feel. I really do. I mean, you get what you get. If you haven't seen my channel in the last 2.5 years, first of all, welcome. Hopefully I didn't just scare you away, but this is me, and this is the way I act. And this is why I'm the worst poker player in the world, because you guys are going to see every emotion that goes through me. Because right now I'm like, I'm emotional, but also in fact I'm passionate. So it's almost like like this right now for me. I'm trying to get that out to you guys. Hopefully you're understanding that. But I just feel like sometimes the easiest things are the hardest to say. Do you ever think that sometimes? The easiest things are the hardest things for people to do. Simple actions, being kind, being thankful, being genuine, being, hey, if we have a problem or a disagreement, let's talk it out. Don't have to make it in a big production. So thank you, Merche. people, people project. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Thelma. Not everybody's gonna like you. That's right, number one on YouTube. I know they said that Jenny, you're gonna have to have a thick skin when you got on YouTube. That was a big thing. I had to figure that out real quick. It had to be yeah, they're great, Thelma. You're right. Lots of channels to choose from. And and I think that everybody can pick up something from everybody. And I think Thelma, being an educator, you probably understand this, that people were put on this earth. I use analogy. Here we go, analogy again. No two people are like snowflakes. People are like snowflakes. No two people are alike. So what was given to you, or what gifts you were given, I guess, or traits you have, and if it's a positive trait, hopefully you can share that with others. That everybody has a reason that they can share with other in the community. So if some people don't like what they give or what they see or whatever they perceive what's there, they can, like you say, switch the channel. But I'm hopeful that somewhere, like, I would learn a lot from. I do learn a lot from Thelma. I do learn a lot from uh, a lot of people. I can. There's so many people here. Steve and I learned something from. I learned. I don't want to single out names. I do learn a lot from everybody, but I just wanted you guys to understand that I think the thing is that if we all kind of took that step back and just assessed it and try to just take it all in, and sometimes I don't know, certain things that just kind of hit me this. I will tell you, in the last week and a half, things have happened that I didn't think would happen with a couple people that I know for a long time, at least in the YouTube community. So I will say that just when I thought something couldn't happen, like, oh, they're not on the same page as me, boom, like a week and a half, I've had two people reach out to me that I haven't spoken to in about 10 months. Okay. So, which is good. I was surprised to hear, but I was also surprised the fact that, and I actually asked these people, I said, are you mad at me? And they're like, no, they're not. We're not mad at you. We've been busy. And I said, okay. And I just told them, I said, you know what? I said, that's fine. But in the future, just, I'd like to keep track, or at least talk to you, at least for just 5 minutes. As you guys can see, I like to talk a lot. And when they get on the phone call with Jenny, it's like, Jenny, I didn't realize I have an hour. I might find 5-minute phone call turns into an hour. So I am guilty of talking a lot about a lot of things. So if you're prepared to talk to me, make sure your schedule's cleared for a little bit, just to go over a lot of topics, because that's usually because I can't keep on one level all the time. But that's okay, But just the fact that we meant that those situations were addressed, and I did speak my mind. I told these people how I felt, and they felt okay, and it made me feel good. Like, saying, you know what, time will tell. Time will tell how things move forward, just like the circle of life. It just keeps on going. So, meantime, I'm going to enjoy the ride. With that being said, I don't mean to be on my pedestal for this till after midnight, and I'll talk to you guys for all this time. But understand that I love what I do, and I could not do what I do without you. And I try to bring positivity, kindness, and love to the channel. It is not a facade. Some people have expressed to me that it's a facade the way I am. I said, no, it's not a facade. If you people who know me, this is the way I am. I think the thing is, sometimes it's hard to address that in a chat or a email, or if it's not my channel or you're not seeing me on camera or something like that. So understand that I'm just trying to help. And I know some people don't want the help, and that's fine. If you don't want my help, that's fine. You guys can do what you guys need to do, but also know that my door is always open. If anybody wants to come, they know where to find me. I'm always here. That's all I'm going to say about it. That's it. So, what time is my sale? I'm sorry, Miss Thelma. I'm sure my sale times, Thelma, are 2 days a week. Tomorrow will be at 2 p.m. Central. I think you're on Central time in Texas, which is the same zone. I'm actually in the Panhandle of Florida, Thelma. If you don't know where I live, I actually live near. If you've heard of Destin, Florida, it's up in the Panhandle. Up in the It's like a panhandle is what it looks on the square, the rectangle part. So I'm about 60 miles east of Pensacola. If anybody don't know where I live, that's where I live, and about 15 miles west of Destin, where the beaches are white and the ocean is, they call it the Emerald Coast. It's actually like teal blue. So as you guys see, I don't go to the beach that often. So that's how I am. So 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then Tuesday, Thelma, I am on from 1 until 6 Central. So I do 5 hours on Tuesday and 3 hours tomorrow. I go on tomorrow at 2, and then I feed into Tanya's channel. She comes on. We just switched back a couple weeks ago, 1 hour earlier. So I come on at 2, and then she'll come on at 5 Central. So, oh, okay, Thelma, no problem, my dear. I appreciate you so much, and it's nice to see you. I know that I see you in other people's chats. I know if you guys go back to, did you have your week off ready for fall break? I know you needed a little break from school, I know they do the fall break thing. So, but it's always nice to see you. Please understand that when I've talked with you or speak in your chats or where I see you, I give you the utmost respect. I really do. And if my humor comes across as kind of weird or off the cuff or something, it really means as the utmost compliment to you, because I really think that you're a funny, intelligent woman, and I will say that you are. I mean, just the fact that what I've seen you gone through and your stories you tell and everything, and I just wanted to say that. So I'm going to get a personal apology from me. If I have ever insulted you, please accept my apology. I didn't mean to insult you, but I really think that you're a wonderful lady. So keep doing what you're doing. You inspire others in every which way, with children all the way to adults, even here on YouTube. So Thelma's one of the best. And Leonore, with that being said, I know you're up here late and you probably want to go to bed. She's up here doing this stuff. Leonore is a wonderful lady as well. She gives positivity messages through the word, and she is very, very helpful at other people's sales and spreading the resellers here in the community. So if you haven't checked out Leonore's channel, I'm going to make sure, Thelma, I'm going to turn you blue in tomorrow morning, so that way I can make you a wrench at my channel, and that way you can share your channel. I know you don't share your channels. I know you said it's real strange to share your channel, but you do have some wonderful things to say, and I do appreciate that very much. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Good to see you. I think we did, Debbie. I did. I think Joe mentioned it. I've been out today doing a lot of stuff, and I literally just been chatting with everybody right now because I waited for Leslie to get done with her live. And that's how the other thing too, guys. I usually do these hauls usually in the afternoons on Saturday, but this week was a very crazy week, and I was waiting for some shipments to come in. I thought they were going to get here, and I literally last 2 days I had to go out and buy some new things because the shipment should be getting here probably either tomorrow or Monday. Well, tomorrow's Sunday, but probably Monday or Tuesday. So I guess mail's going a little slower. Yeah, so I was kind of, normally I try to do these in a very simple way, but I've also, when I started to do this, people are really interested because I know that you guys sometimes have questions. And so it turns into this kind of, I like to be interactive, and Thelma's being here too. I'll tell you guys, I'm going to be 53 years old. I'll tell you how I'll be 53 come December 27th is my birthday. Okay. So, but my mom always told me, she says, Jenny, you have like an old soul. I really, because I remember the time when I was in school, there was no phones. We had rotary phones. The only, remember you had to turn the little knob on the, well, Thelma knows when we had a little, it was like a telephone. You had to turn the rotary, to turn, and then as far you could talk, there was no cordless phones. You only can walk as far as the phone cord would go. And so I remember those times. I remember the times when things were, you would do things. So now everything is so this versus let's pick up the phone and chat. That's how I feel. And so I do that. So if people know me, I'll say, let me call you. Like, Jenny, why do you want to call me? Just text me. No, I don't like to text. I know everybody wants to do this because they're busy. So I said, I'm going to call you on the phone. And people are like, what? So technology for me is a little bit sometimes over the top for me to understand it all. I mean, if you ask me, and Leslie's trying to tell me that she's like, Jenny, you know how to do this. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. I said, oh, but I don't care. It's all right. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. If it happens, it happens, and I'll learn it. I'll learn it. I have to. I have to. That's how I work. So you remember using rotary phones. But yeah, I remember the time when then they first came out with cell phones, and then you had to carry around this bag. Do you guys remember that? I don't know if you guys remember when cell phones came out. There was like this bag, and it was like a suction cup you had to stick on your window in your car. And that was like this big phone, and you had the buttons on and stuff. And I'm like, what is? And then you had to stick the suction cup to find the tower with this. And I said, oh my gosh. And then after that, it wasn't too long. Then you had the big cell phone that was like this big, like Pretty Woman. You ever watch Remember Pretty Woman in 1991? That's how big the cell phones were, like this big. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was actually the last. I actually had my Nokia. I had an Android phone. Okay. I just got my first iPhone like when I went to an iPhone like was it 2 years ago? My Nokia, like I kept pushing it forward because I have this service, but it was like 4G or 3 or 4. Now we're up to like 5, right? So when it never would pick up phone calls. And then finally, like it kept wanting to do an update. It tried to do an update and finally just turned off one day. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a phone. So I told my husband, I said, and my husband Joe had an iPhone, but his is actually an old one. But now I have a 15, what it was a 15, whatever. But I just said, I had to switch to Apple. I'm like, what is all these things? And I still haven't filled out the phone, guys. I don't even know how to like the apps and stuff. So you guys asked me to do a bunch of stuff. Jenny, just hit the app. I'm like, what do you mean by app? What? And then, it's like you can order DoorDash, all those. I don't know any of that stuff, quite honestly. If you guys ask me any of these kind of things, I'm like, I don't know how the first thing how to do that. I really wouldn't know, tell you what. I'm like, when I go up to a person and say, can you help me? Help me with that? That's what I do. I go up to a person and find people. So when we ever go to people is anything, I'm going to be the first person to say, oh my God, I'm just going to be like, where do I start? Where do I start? So I don't know. I guess the thing is I want you guys to know who I am because I really like, I'd be the first one. I'm like, what do I have to do? How do I do that? What do I have to do? I don't know. It's probably really, really bad. But when I went back to college, I'm going to tell you this story. When I went back to college here in Florida, before I went to go, so I'll just let you guys know. Okay, so I went to GIA and I got my associate's degree in Chicago area. Thelma, by the way, I grew up in a town called Darien. So if you know, I know you have your daughter lives there, but I live in the south suburbs near Downers Grove. My sister still lives up there near Riverwoods, if you know that, near Schaumburg. And I have aunts and uncles that live up there. But anyway, yeah. So when I went to school out there, I got my associate's degree, and then I decided I thought I needed to get a 4-year degree in geology to go along with my gemology degree, right? So what I didn't realize is that at that time, back in the like early 90s, well, they wanted women to work in the geology industry, like oil exploration and things like that. And so that wasn't what I wanted to do, but that's when I thought I had to have a 4-year degree to back up what I was doing. And so that's when I went out to New Mexico to visit the colleges out there. And I was literally walking in a piece of time out there because out in New Mexico, that area, there's not a lot of things that changed from 1950s. I went to tour 2 colleges in New Mexico, Eastern New Mexico University, which is in Clovis, which is near an Air Force base. And then I also went to the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque. And when I got out there, I just had this feeling like, I toured both campuses. One was like really like step out of 1950s where there's Howard Johnson in town, like nothing really changed. And then the other one was like the University of New Mexico is very a newer campus, but I just didn't feel like it was home for me. So when I came back to Chicago area, and my mom says, Jenny, why don't you just go to GIA and go do that? So that's what I did. And I came back. And I just started working in the jewelry industry right away. So I never really got my 4-year degree. So when I moved to Florida, my mom says, Jenny, she said, why don't you go to the school, our college here? And that's why she said, have something to back up something in case jewelry doesn't work out. Because in this area where I live, just so you guys know, it's a populated area. It's the by geographic region. If you look on a map, Eglin Air Force Base is the largest by square mileage, the largest Air Force base in the world is here. Okay. And so we actually have Hurlburt Field, and then we also have Eglin. And so there's training going on here, special ops going on here. There's a whole bunch of different things happening here. So a lot of the there's local with Northwest Florida State College here. So I went back to school there, and I said, "What do I need to do?" Because I said, "What interests you?" And I told them what my degree is, and they said, "Well, what do you want to do here?" I said, "I don't know." So I took one of those aptitude tests. And Thelma could probably appreciate this. I took one of those aptitude tests. What are the things you're good at? So the first thing that came, the results when they came in, they said, because you're very analytical. So they said, well, you should be in the military. Well, I'm too old. Plus, I'm a single mom. They're going to put me in the military. Second was bill collecting. You guys are bill collector. And then third was management. So that's how so what kind of management do they have? And so when you go into military, one of the things that they also teach you when you get out of the military is kind of going to what they call project management, which is basically you work side by side with the Air Force or a military program, and you basically your training would be to work side by side with them to build a project or build something or design something. But think of it this way, that a lot of people, and it's a very lucrative pay when you do that. But again, they're going to take a person who came out of the military first for that job versus probably an outside civilian to get that job. So you got 100 people going from one job. The chances are you're getting that job is going to get hard. So the next career phase over at the college was healthcare management. So I got into healthcare management. I chose that. So, oh, okay, your son lives there. Okay, yeah. I grew up in Deering, just east of you, honey. I went to Hinsdale South High School. So if you know where Hinsdale South is, that's where I went to high school. Graduated in 91. Anyway, so I decided to go into healthcare management. And so that's what I decided to do. And in that realm at our college here, there really wasn't anybody in that program because it was a relatively new program. But I also know that in this area, healthcare is a big deal. So I took that. And that's when I also got, now you guys have to remember, I'm what they call a non-traditional student. So at that time, let's see, that was 6 years. Wait, I gotta think about this. I graduated in 19. So 8 years ago was when I went back to school. So that would be 2017. And yeah, so I haven't was in the classroom since 1993. Well, if you count GI4, I guess, but a regular college classroom until 93. So that was what? How many years would that be? 25, 20 years? Long time, right? So I had, when I was in a classroom, the computers had floppy disks. You guys remember what a floppy disk is? Do you remember when Apple actually had green screens when Apple first came out? I remember those things. So when you walk into a classroom, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea. I walked in there, and all these kids are probably 18, 20 years old. And I'm 42 at that time, I guess. Well 10 years ago. Yeah. Well, okay. We'll just say around 40, 42 years old. And I got in that classroom. I said, what am I doing here? But they'd be surprised. None of the depends on how the teachers are, most of the time they're in the mid 50s, 60s, I would say. They're older people teaching the classes, which is good. But they also understand that they're going to have to deal with kids that are from 18 years old all the way up to their age, if not older. So they're very helpful. And that's when I got involved with the Phi Theta Kappa, which is the honor society there at this college. They said, oh, you should be part of this honor society. So I don't know, and you just started to learn things, and then I tried to pick up things and also try to guide people and put positivity in their lives. And that's when I actually started to do that. And I took that upon myself as that, it's a way of a stepping stone. And I took that as you take each opportunity and you make the best of it. So that's how I kind of thought about college in a sense. And then I took that and I went, and I was going home, and I'm not going to say change the world, but I'm going to say I'm going to go and bring my knowledge and my passion for what I like to do and give back to others. And that's why I worked in the hospital field, and I worked in the emergency room. So it doesn't get much more hands-on than you be next to nurses in the emergency room. And I was doing registration at that time. So I'm dealing with families who are dealing with a lot of crisis situations. I'm dealing with families that are trying to get information. I'm trying to deal with the in between the nursing staff and the doctor. Sometimes I was all over the place. So it takes a lot. And my husband was very sweet. He actually says, Jenny, I'll give you 10 minutes to come home to vent. Because he knows that when you're in a situation, him being the former military man he was in the Army for 26 years. So he taught me, he says, there's time you need to decompress. And he says, I'm allowing you, but after 10 minutes, this is your home. So now you can leave it here. So this, I've left that job now after 6 years. Now I come walk in this office every morning. What do I need to do? Keep on focus. What do I need to do? And I just look down at this every day and say, do you love what you do? I said, yes, I love what I do because I'm happy. I make my own schedule. I know what's going on. Now, for me, if you ask me what day of the week it is, I probably forget because I really don't know. Because normally I would say I work this, and then at the hospital, I knew exactly when my schedule was when I was only doing this one day a week. I was always doing shows on Tuesdays. Now that I'm not doing that, I say, wait, what's going on? Like right now, I'm like, I'm going to have a show literally today. So I have to figure, I'll see you guys later. But that's how it is for me. So this one day doesn't run on the next, but I also try to still give back. So I know we can't be at everybody's channels. If I can be there for 5 minutes to say hello, give you guys a thumbs up. That's how I feel. And I think that just giving a piece of yourself to others is so important. Maybe some people don't want to hear that. Some people say, Jenny, we don't need your approval to do what I need. Okay, fine. That's fine. Don't be nasty. I'll just like, whatever. Just go on. It's okay. I tried. All I can do is try. And once you say you tried, and if you fail, you can't make the world, you try. That's all you can do. Do I feel upset about it? Some days I do. Some days I don't. But then sometimes I say, you know what? Move on to the next. Somebody else is going to want me to be appreciated for what I try to do. So, hey, all you can do is try and move forward. That's all I can say. So, yeah, Merche, I build my own routines with time. I do. I try. I really do. But hopefully now you guys, if you have any other questions, but that's pretty much what's going on here. So to be honest with you, Thelma, I will tell you on a personal level, I'm not even talking to Thelma, but my son Colin is 25 now. He's still here at the house with us. He does drive. He has a job. He does things like that. So he actually graduated high school, 3.8 GPA. Smart as a whip. Smart as a whip. It's just communication and abstract language is hard for him to get. So he just learns in a different way. So, but once you figure out, I've learned this dealing with, because my kids were born in Wisconsin. I'm originally from Chicago. I moved to Wisconsin. Then from Wisconsin, I moved to Atlanta area. From Atlanta, I moved to Florida. So those 3 states, Wisconsin, Georgia, and Florida, all different types of way they teach kids with special needs, okay? But I did say that when you find the right fit for a teacher in generalized way, once you find the right fit, it's like, it doesn't get better than that. So I do know that you do have the right understanding person who's got the biggest heart and understanding. It does work with the right fit. So kudos to you, Thelma. I don't know how many years you've been doing this, my dear, but when you deal with that on a daily basis, God bless you. Okay. So he is one of the success stories, but I do remember I had to go through a lot. I actually one time had to go to superintendent. So actually twice. Okay. Just to tell him when I had to fight for my child. So there's things that you guys do know about me. If I'm passionate about something, I'm going to go up the ladder. Go up the ladder, Jenny. When you get the right result, you're going to go up the ladder. Don't say just because one person says no, it's not possible. Pick up the phone. So yeah, there you go. So that's how it is. So yeah, and I'm proud of that. And I have to say about it, but there's a lot of things that you have to fight for in life to get it right. And unfortunately, it should be simple, but it's not. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when you put it in a way that is very simple and Um, I never want to be that way. My thing is my people say keep it simple, stupid. I guess you try to keep it simple sometimes for people they don't want to listen to you too. But what are you gonna do? You can't all you can do is try, but then you just keep trying. My dad always said, everybody in the world has a boss, right? Everybody in the world has a boss, unless you're the president of the United States. Well, then we're not gonna go politics here, but or the Pope. But you try, right? And so if you're not getting somewhere, just call on the phone. If not, you're gonna be that person. Well, I've been that person to blah 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 blah. But also know that's how sometimes things have to get done because you have to fight. You have to fight for things, and I'm passionate about what I'm doing. If it wasn't, he wouldn't be in the position. My son would be where he is if I didn't do those things. But that's what mothers do. That's what mothers do. So, but anyway, I think you guys got the idea of what I am now. So I'm a very loving and giving person, and I hopefully that comes across from what I do here. And I just want to thank you guys for being here for us. And it means a lot. And I know that my husband, I know he's not hearing any of this, he's sleeping, but he also knows that this is important to me that I do share my uh, time with you guys so you guys can chit chat to get me know me better and all this kind of thing. Because when we're doing live sales, we don't. I can try to still tell stories, but I'm also doing a lot of camera down with the jewelry, so I don't really have time to talk like this, like I'm doing right now. So um, hopefully that means a lot to you guys, and you guys know that I'm very here. This is why I do camera up a lot of these things, because you can see how I um, think, tick, talk, and my actions, and how I do feel. And I know some people do camera down. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We're still sharing part of you to others. Um, this is just the way I like to do it. Always have. Always from day one, I got in front of my camera. I didn't know what I was doing. If you look at my first video, you watch my first video behind me here. There's no fancy backdrop. There's nothing back here. Actually, I had a file cabinet over here. I had a little folding bookcase back here with a couple little busts on it or something. And within like 10 minutes, I'm going, you might want to change your back set. You might want to do this. I'm like, oh boy, this is how it is already. Critiques already. So I had to deal with that. But that's okay, because I'm new to this. I didn't know what I was doing. My thing is, I was about me explaining jewelry and this and that. This is all things that have happened over 2.5 years. You just grow. You grow with things that being addressed to you or put in phrase forward to you. And that's part of it is what you deal with people in the community. Part of it is finding yourself and finding what you want to share. And well, it's a journey. It's a journey. So hopefully you guys have loved the journey, been with me. I know some of you are somewhat new to my channel, which I appreciate you guys finding me. Debbie, I know I have to give kudos to Debbie because she's a gemologist. I don't know if you guys know that, but she came in my channel not too long ago, and she's a gemologist, which I was like, oh my gosh, really? I'm like, so she actually went. What you went was year before me or after me, Debbie, that you went? Because I know it was right around the time I was there, but she went. I can't believe it was before I'm thinking, but I might be wrong. But I was like, that was so cool to know. I mean, to me, it's awesome, and I love hearing about everybody's. Everybody has something to share, like, I love Elizabeth talks about the symphonies and going to concerts and things, and Thelma, of course, everything with education. And I don't know. I just like to hear it because it's personal. To me, it's personal. We're not just, we sell jewelry and clothing or whatever, whatever it is. That's important too. But also know that you're getting a piece of us with it. And I think that's important. You can always come back to me and say, Jenny, can you explain this more to me or this? I just don't understand. I'll be happy to. So, hi, Jamie Lynn. Thank you. That means a lot to me. That you just made my day, Jamie Lynn. And you guys all have been making my day. So I normally don't talk this long. Although, if you guys are at Leslie's show tonight, it really did happen though. This is how I talk. I literally was talking for like nonstop. And she took some medicine and she like fell asleep on the phone. And I'm like, I talked for this, and I literally went on talking, and now I hear she's snoring. I'm like, so this day I was like, so when you guys hear her bring up that story, it actually did happen. She's like, God, Jenny just talks so much. But Yeah. But anyway, so if you that's just hopefully you guys know about me. Um so my I moved down here in 2014. Is when I moved down here. I worked in the restaurant business for a couple years. Oh gosh, talk about working restaurants hard work. Yeah. Yeah, working in restaurants hard work. And I worked at a restaurant when I first got down here, and they little had no staff. So I was the hostess, I was the busser, I did the dishes, I cleaned the bathrooms. I didn't pretty much do anything except pretty much cook the food. And I worked from 8:30 in the morning to 2 in the morning for I remember one time I did for 2 weeks straight, every day for 2 weeks straight, 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 in the morning, and do it for 2 weeks straight. I had more hours in at that restaurant, which is a corporately owned chain, and the corporate people had to call the restaurant to say, "Is this true? This woman worked your employee worked this amount of hours and she had more hours than the management staff?" Yep. So I know how to work. If I had to work, I did. So yeah, it's hard work, but that's when I decided to go back to school. My mom says, "You go back to school, Jen, and you were smart. You were a smart girl, and you figured it out in high school." My thing is trying to figure it out in the modern times is a whole different avenue for me, but I did. But people got to know me really well, and they said, "Jenny, you'll figure it out. You figure it out how things have changed." So, um, yeah. So I ended up being actually, with that being said, in college, actually. So like I was telling you before, I didn't know anything about college and how things have changed, and so I got involved with a lot of the clubs and things in college. And as what they call a non-traditional student, person in her 40s, trying to go and interact with some of these people, but it's also dealing with people in general, right? So I got involved with Phi Theta Kappa, which is the honor society, and I first got interested in doing that, and this giving back to the community, doing things for the community, doing things on campus, and then also promoting and learning for possibility of me at that point. I didn't know if I was going to go get my master's degree. I didn't go get my master's degree, but just the fact that there's organizations out there to help people better themselves, I think that makes a lot of difference in life. So, um, but yeah, I was president of the club of Phi Theta Kappa for a year. Sorry, I was vice president anyway. But that was a fun thing, fun times, and um, yeah, had a good time doing that. So, but yeah, is there anything else you guys want to know? That's pretty much what I do here down in Florida. I don't go to the beach, as you guys can see. I'm pale, so skin cancer does run in my family. So you won't find me typically at the beach too much. It's beautiful. If you ever come to this area, it's a beautiful place to visit. That's why it's a tourist destination. If you don't want a map, like I said, look it up. And beautiful place to visit. We get a lot of families and people come down here. A lot of we call snowbirds from up north where the winters get cold, and Canada and international people come here for months and they stay down here and enjoy the weather. And but yeah, so mom is here and she's about 15 miles away, and I see her and she usually comes around I see her about once a week. She's still active and doing things. And so yeah. And Joe and I don't have any children together. Joe and I have been married now for, well, June 10th of 21 is when we got married. And literally a year to the date later, on our first wedding anniversary, my father passed away on my anniversary date. So, but he had dementia. Beautiful. He was a wonderful man. He could fix anything. Beautiful man. I think he was 82 when he passed away. But yeah, so so mom is here, and my sister's up in Chicago. So I just have one sibling, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So hopefully that explains a lot to you guys. I just wanted you guys to understand that what you see is what you get with me. If you ever have anything, if you ever have a question or a concern or a problem or gemology or life related, I worked in the hospital in the ER, so I've listened to people cry their eyes out at me. I've seen things that you just never want to see, but also I've dealt with that side. So you guys, I know that a lot of people are going through a lot of things. I hear it in the chats and I hear that. Just always know there's always somebody like myself. I'm here to listen. And if you want to send me an email personally or privately, that's fine. I will try to be there for you. And I do get that a lot, which is I feel very blessed to do that. I mean, I'm not a certified psychologist or anything, but I can at least be an ear you can listen. I'll definitely lend you my ear if you want it, if you want it there. But yeah. So anyway, I don't want to be a downer, but I just want you to understand that's how I feel, and I think it was a long time in coming. Um, I know I do talk a lot, but I also know that I think knowing you get to see my emotion and see how I do things here might be a little bit different than what you guys are maybe accustomed to seeing. Because I know when you come to my shows, it's like, show a piece of jewelry, go to the next one, another piece of jewelry, go to the next one. And it's not like that. I like to do this because then you can get the whole gist of how it works for me. So I like to be prepared. I'm very organized. If you haven't seen, like, there's a running joke in YouTube land, as I tell everybody, I should have bought 3M stock white when 3M came out available, because I use every piece of jewelry goes through a whole bunch of, I test it behind me. I got things I can, and so I have notes on pretty much everything. So if you ever ask me a question, say, Jenny, can you tell me more about what I had? We scan all this stuff in our system, so we have everything there. So if in a later date, if I have to go back to something, Joe has this organized so I can figure out, we keep the post-it notes, and once we do, then we shred this, but it's scanned in. So we have everything there for you. So, and not all sellers do that. I mean, they'll just say, they have to, if they had to go back for a resource, to learn things, what it goes on to. So, yeah, thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's how I do it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's important to you to do that. I think it's important that you guys get to see resellers for who they are. I really do. I really think that that's something that, it's not long as much as I talk. I just think that you guys will get it's just, and and let me just put it out there like this. If for any reason that, you have hesitation or questions about how a seller does what, or how they do their certain processes, I think as a consumer in general, you have a right to ask how do they do what they do, right? So if you say, well, did you scratch test your silver? I think that's a valid question. How do you know it's sterling silver? Are you just going by the fact it's stamped 925? Or do you actually have acids on premise? Do you do those things? What do you do? I think you can ask that even if you're walking into it, and that's just for a storefront business too. If you want to know how things, I'm not just bashing YouTube people or whatnot or whatever platform we're on. I think that's anything. Anybody should be able to explain it to you. And if you wanted something tested or researched or something, if they can't answer that question or whatever, that's your right to say, you know what, I don't like that for whatever reason, or they're not very clear to me. Or again, that's just a generalized way of saying it. So I'm not saying that because I do, like, I just like to know if I'm buying something that says sterling silver, that it is sterling silver. And if it's not sterling silver, or if it's gold or whatever it is, I mean, that way I'm telling you what exactly it is, and for what you're getting, what you're paying for. So that goes with all retail or business activity. That's ethics. We call that ethics. So I'm trying to look, and I took classes in college for that, and everybody should. But that's also, quite honestly, simple thinking. It should be the moral thinking, right? But everybody's morals, you can't go by everybody's morals, because everybody's moral capacity is different than what they want to either be transparent to. Some people want to hide. They're like, oh, I don't need to show that, or oh, I don't have to do that. Well, okay, well then there is, just always know that you should, as a right, you guys have a right to do that. So yeah, exactly. Before it's asked, that's right. Though you should, and quite frankly, one of the things I got brought up on a conversation with somebody shortly, not too long ago, was I find it interesting, and I'm just bringing it out there, and this might get me into some water, but I don't. You guys, this has been a while, but I'll just say it, that if you're going into a show, and I don't know, I'm just how I can explain this, But if you're showing a piece of jewelry and you don't know whether or not it's whatever it is, okay, just say, hey, I don't know what this stone is, or I don't know if this is sterling silver. Well, in my world, I guess is I look at it from a different point of view, because if it's not sterling, if you don't know the metal, essentially, let's say, let's take a sterling silver ring, and if you uh, sell this piece of ring or sell this ring to somebody, thinking they say, well, they possibly think it's sterling, but they're not sure, and that person gets their ring and they find out that they take it to wherever they need to go get it sized, and it's not sterling and they can't size it. Now, hopefully, as a reseller, you would say, okay, well, sorry, I didn't really tell you what it was. Well, how is that going to be for the person who says, oh, it's not going to fit me? So I would hopefully that you would do your research and say, I'm going to scratch test all my silver to make sure that that way my consumer knows, or my customer knows, that I can take it somewhere to get it sized. I think that's a fair, accurate thing to do prior to showing a piece of jewelry. Now, when we're talking about a lot of jewelry, or um, you're selling a lot of a conglomerate of things in a bag. Okay, now of course, you're not going to usually spend the time to go through every single. You're selling it as a lot, right? It's kind of like a jewelry jar, right? But if you're going to go piece by piece by piece by piece by piece, and so you're going to hold up a piece that's sterling one hand, and you tested on this piece, oh, and just assume the rest of my stuff is sterling when it's not sterling, or every other piece you're going to know, like, you don't know where it's come from. Make sure you take the time and say, this is why people laugh at me. We have tests and acids and things like that in my fingers by the time I'm done. You guys, this is why my nails don't look like they do. Usually, look at how I've been cleaning jewelry, polishing jewelry. They're rough. There's just, because I'm literally doing scratch testing, washing things, cleaning things, doing things. So if you see some people that just say, like, what the heck's going on, and you don't know what you're selling and you don't know what it is, I personally think that you should either make sure you give the people their money back if they're not going to do something like that. And, if you don't know what you're selling, or just don't cut off the whole internet to say, well, oh, well, I'm not giving you a refund for that. I'll be like, well, why not? If you didn't tell me what it was from the beginning. I don't, unless you don't know how to scratch test. Now that's a whole different area, to talk about. So I don't know. That's just my personal opinion about it. You should do the research prior to doing something up on the sale, because that's showing that you care about what you're selling, what you're selling. And unless like I said, we're talking about a mixed lot, then you're just going to throw a bunch of things in a lot. But typically what I usually do when I'm doing a bag, which I haven't done in a long time, but if I'm doing a mixed lot of jewelry, I'm going to say they're not broken. They're wearable pieces of jewelry. It's mostly costume pieces I throw on the trays I talk about at my show. So I do, like, for Thelma, for you, like, if you haven't been to my show, but like, for example, I do 3 trays over there that have 35 pieces of costume, and I throw in 5 pieces of sterling silver just to add it to the kitty. So basically it's like 40 pieces of jewelry that I sell as a big combined lot, but it's not broken. It's not craft. It's not, and some of them are actually still with the original makers, like, tags on them, like brand new from the store. So, but that's going to be costume jewelry, right? But if we're talking like metals, I think that's a fair statement. Then you should do all the research and make sure that everything is what it is. And if you don't know the stone, that's why I do get calls from other sellers. I say, Jenny, can you help me? And I usually tell them, I said, I will try my best to help you, and understand that I might be wrong. If I look at a photograph of something, it's different than me than having it in my hands. It's different than me to say, I know what this is. Most of the times on programs, I can see what the stone is. Do I make mistakes? Of course I do. But I'm going to give you my educated guess of what it is. At least I helped in give you kind of, hopefully lead you down to the path. I might be wrong between a couple gemstones, of course. I'm going to tell you one fact, and then I'll leave you guys be for the evening, because I know you guys have been very, very appreciative of being here for my time, but and your time. If you send a stone to GIA, let's say it was you were sending a gemstone, a diamond, anything, a jade assessment or something like that. You send it to the GIA for a report. You get one of those printed reports with the diamond that you get with your report. It's not just graded by one person. It's not graded by 2 people. It's not graded by 3 people. Not 4, 5. 5 people, 5 gemologists at the GIA have to agree on every little piece of that report for that print report to be printed. 5. Not 1, 5. Very important you guys know that because that's how talk about being strict. If you were, and then we're talking about angles and proportions and symmetry and plotting and this and everything on that I had to do when I went to school. 5 everybody had to agree everything on that report, not just one person, 5 people. So that's what I'm trying to tell you that when it comes to, I mean, that's my little shout out. There's all these different labs across the world. There's different ones, but GIA is the one that most people look at for um, getting information, grading, and things like that. So, were there times when I worked in the jewelry industry in stores and I said, I don't understand, or I need help, have another gemologist look at this? Yes. Did I pick up the phone? Hey, I don't know what that phone. I think his name was Steve. Steve, can I come see you? I've got something to. Can we talk about something? Of course. So I would go show him something and say, "Can you help me out with this?" And he says, "Oh wow!" And then he was actually enamored that I would bring him to something. He's like, "Well, Jenny, that's great because that tells me that I'm willing to get education from somebody else and say maybe I want to put this idea out to you. What do you think about this stone? What do you think this could be?" And so sometimes he would come to me. So it's collaboration, and again, that's kind of when I look in this YouTube community. Everybody should have something to offer. I mean, you might not think it's that important, but sometimes even just being a friendly smile, a friendly gesture, just the fact that you say, "Hey, she's taking the time to be at a chat to be." It's not her sale; it's so and so's sale. But can I be at thousands of sales at the same time? Of course, I can't be there. But always know my door is always open. My email is always open. If you want to send me a photograph or a picture or something like that, or you want to chat offline, I am always accessible to you guys, always. And if anybody tells you anything different than that, they can come back and talk to me because that's always it's always been that way, always been that way. And if you get a different type piece of information, say, "Oh, she's not, she's this, she's that." Mm-mm. I'm telling you right now, it's not like that. And I have never said that out loud, or maybe I may have, but I've always said maybe not much passion, as much time am I taking to explain that to you guys tonight. But I think it's very fair to understand that you're getting how I am as a person, and I've always go by people's actions. You can tell. I tell this same kind of thing across the board. You go by how people what they say, and also how they do it. And if something isn't jiving by what they're saying and what they're doing, you want to question it. Correct? So I always said that to myself. Well, maybe you might not find the answer right that's in there when you're asking the question, but time will tell and say, just remember that. Just remember that. Time will tell and see who's doing what and how they're doing it. And what there's not a problem, then you guys figure it out. So just like I told you what I said earlier, I mean, I thought 2 people out of the last 10 months came out and had a conversation with me. I thought they were mad at me. Not from lack of trying. I've tried picking up the phone 5 times, but they were too busy or whatever. But they made amends. We've talked about it. So it's interesting how things change in life. Just when you think that, well, that path was closed or that door shut. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm blessed with what I'm doing. I'm happy to be here talking with all of you. So yes, and thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that very much. Yes, so just, and I'm going to tell you, I get again, resellers are calling me. People who you guys go to shop with, they call me because they got get stuck, and they'll be first to tell you. They'll say if you go to their sales, they'll say, "I called Jen," and some of them are actually saying they're calling other different people, and they said never got a phone call back, but they'll call me, and I'll, okay, hold on, let me see what I can do. Now sometimes I'm out and about, but they'll say, "I called Jen and she called me back within a day." Or I might call them within an hour, depending on what I'm doing. Depends on, I'm not going to, if I'm in the middle of something, that's a different story. But I mean, I have done Zoom calls, Zoom, 4 hours on the phone with other resellers, helping them identify gemstones. I don't charge them for that. Don't charge them for that. But I also know I want them to get it right. And you're seeing as things are moving forward now in the last press release, in the last I'd say 6, 8 months. People are learning. The Presidium is here. It's a tool. It's a tool. Some people say, oh, oh, it's not the only piece of gemological equipment that is here with me. Okay. There's other things that we use in school. We didn't use a Presidium in school. That's just a simple guide to help guide you to help you in a range of things. Okay. But there's other things we use along the way to help it. It's like a fork in the road. Like you're going to turn right at, how to get from point A to point B. You got to go through different side streets to get there. Right. Well, Presidiums are kind of a straighter way to get there, but you still got to make a choice, right? So it helps you. So I am one of those people that I will help you as much as I can without having the piece of item in front of me. But I will tell you from 9 times out of 10, this is where we're at. And they'll say, oh, that makes sense, Jen. Wow, nobody's explained it to me like that. And again, my goal is not to make people look stupid. My goal is to help people learn. And so that when you do get the next stone that comes across your desk or your lot of jewelry you buy, wow, Jenny taught me that. Oh, that makes sense. Why does rubies glow? Why do I use a black light to look at rubies? Oh, it's that element we call chromium in it. Oh yeah, I learned that from Jen. That's right, because no matter if they're synthetic or natural, ruby's going to have the element chromium and that makes them glow. Wow, I didn't know that before. Makes a lot of sense. Okay. Now I'm not again, I'm just using that as an example. And I use my tone of voice just to inflect on you. That's what I'm saying. But again, I've had now that being said, I've taught that on a show or a live like this, a hall like this. They'll say, wow, I can go on to the next piece and say, wow, I remember hearing that. And they'll say, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And so just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. I'm just planting the seed. You guys, again, some of these people might be watching this video later on and they'll say, wow, she was way too much in depth. I just look at that. I say what I have to say. You guys can make the assessment. I think that part of this has been a long time coming for me to explain it in such a way. But I feel that when you get it from the horse's mouth, such as me explaining it, you can't never negate it. And I just want you guys to understand that for all 25 of you who are watching it right now, I know we're going to have more people watching this video later, and they're going to come and start calling me on the phone and say, why are you up till 1 in the morning talking this long? Because I really think it's important because I've been wanting to say a lot of this for a long time. I just felt like there was always, when you really spend a little bit of time to say something, people will say, well, you only say a statement and that was it. They want to know the reason why I say what I say. So then I speak for a while and explain my position on that. And they'll say, wow, that makes pretty much a lot of sense. That's not really a way I should verbalize that, Thelma. That's bad English. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, the fact that you explain it like that. And unfortunately, rhetoric can be very bad and damaging, but I try to say it. I want you guys to hear it from me, not from somebody else, not in a chat, not in the game of operator. Whatever they used to call it, operator, you call this. No, it's coming from me. So if you ever have a question, if you ever have a concern, if you ever want to know about something more about gems, I will try to help you as much as I can. That's what I love to do. I also see the fruits. If you want to call it the fruit of my labor, I see resellers now. They'll say, Jen, that's rhodonite, right? That's not rhodochrosite, right? So when I see that, I know that they didn't know anything about pink gemstones before I even got here. Before I got here 2 years ago, they'll say it's a beautiful pink stone. I have no idea what it is. Now they can tell me it's rhodonite. They can tell me it's this, and then because it has the little black inclusions in it, not like rhodochrosite, it has the banding. It looks like bacon. They'll understand that. They're like, oh, okay. And so certain things that to me, I get fulfilled when those things happen. Or you guys get excited when you say, wow, I've never seen that, Jen. Oh, it makes so much sense to me. So thank you so much for sharing what you do. And I think some of the other sellers get a little bit jealous of that. Personally, they and I always tell them, go to GIA, go take some schooling, go learn what you want to learn. It's there. I took it. My thing is that my passion for what I do as a human being also then passed on into healthcare. Because when people ask me, well, how did you leave healthcare and come to do to do this? Because this is what I was doing for 26 years. My thing is I just took a little detour for a little bit just to try something else out. And again, this area of Florida is not Miami. It's not like Chicago. It's not New York City. Jewelry jobs in this area is not the same thing. Okay. I like to work for more what I call mom and pop stores where they can actually pick the lines of jewelry that goes in the store. And you guys will understand what I'm talking about when you see diamonds that look like rock salt. When you go to the mall and you'll say, that's a diamond. It looks like rock salt to me. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You see the tennis bracelets for $199 and they look like rock salt in it. Yeah, that's the reason why I don't work in the mall anymore, because it's just not the way I roll. When you look at beautiful jewelry and how it's supposed to look, you don't want to look at $199 tennis bracelets with rock salt in it. Believe me, I threw enough of that stuff to melt the snow melt on in Wisconsin when I lived there. So it's kind of a funny thing I say that because you guys seem to understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know. Hi, Lisa. How are you? It's 2 a.m. Yeah, I should go to bed. But bear in mind, someone asked for help and they don't resent it. I hope you encounter only great friends. I try, Thelma. I really do. All I can do is try. You of all people, I mean, you've dealt with a lot of people. I know that. My thing is I've dealt with some people along the way. Also learned that people get scared. Somebody sent a saying to me this week. Where did I hear that? About being well, I'm gonna get this right so I remember how this was. It was people are bullied because other people are fearful of what they know and how successful that other person becomes. So if that happens to you, what's the best way you can get back at a bully? When they're That's why they bully you, because they're fearful of what you're doing and how successful you are. So what do? Continue on the same path. Continue on the same path. But along the way, also be grateful for what you're doing. Keep the noise out. That's what I try to do. So I heard that this week, and it said, I heard that, and I said, that's the way I have to say it, because there's days when I literally can't deal with noise sometimes what happens here. And I just say, you know what? I'm just trying to help people. And if it's through jewelry, if it's being helpful, and there's days when I feel like I'm going to get 20 phone calls and say this, and that. I just want to say, you know what? That's why when I tell you guys, when you guys send me an email, you tell me, Jenny, I love the piece. Jenny, you made my anniversary. I only had $30 to spend for my anniversary, and you made it happen for me. Those are the things that I can't even put a price on, because, how do I want to react to it? Because they're going to look at that ring every time now. They're looking down that ring and say, I had only 30 and Jenny made it work. And it was like, it wasn't to me, it was about the fact that you love it. The fact you're always going to remember that, wow, that experience that this person actually cared so much to make my budget work for me. Those are the things that I try to do for everybody as much as I can within my power. Okay. So I guess is what I'm trying to say is I appreciate all of you guys being here. Thank you guys for listening to me to this 2-hour conversation. I didn't think I was going to be on here that long, but I know when I get going, sometimes it's hard for me to stop. But a lot of it has also been built up for a long time here. And some of you guys who've known me for a long time know that I try to keep my emotions in check. I really do. I try to, because that's also what you guys are here for. You don't want to watch somebody just break down on television and just say, what's going on there. My thing is that I am a human being. I have a heart and soul. And just always know that we go through good days and bad days. And some of this has been a long time coming. I wanted to say it. I said it at probably, mm, when was that? I had a little bit of this probably about 8 months ago, I think. But you'd be surprised once I quit my job at the hospital how much I've dealt with in the last 2 months from people here. I'm just saying. That's all I'm gonna say. You guys can probably put that between the lines and know what I'm talking about. But I think, especially when it comes to jealousy. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, let me see what I'm missing here. Thank you, Merche. I appreciate that. Thank you, Elizabeth Johnson. Yeah, I'm just talking, Nancy. We're just talking, and I've been on here for like 2 hours. You thought it was a video? How you doing, Nancy? It's good to see you, honey. But yeah, that's I got 26 of you all here listening to me going on and getting emotional. But yeah, I did not think that 99% of, I would say, well, listen, the people I know were very supportive about me coming on here, being a full-time reseller. And then there's some of them that were basically saying they're giving me guidelines when I can do this, when I can't do that, when I can do this, or when I shouldn't do that. I said, this is ridiculous. I'm an adult. We figure it out. But I also, along the way, that I know, so I'm trying to be respectful. And you still have to do what you got to do. I'm not trying to be cutthroat. I'm not trying to be this. And I think I've somewhat kind of meshed that kind of connection to people. And if people have a problem with how I do things, or if me personally, then come to me and talk to me about it. If there's a problem with me, come to me. Don't talk to so-and-so and find this or that. Come to me and let's work it out. If you've got a problem, whatever reason, I don't think I'd have that much issue. Most people are very happy at my channel. But if you're something I'm doing that's, you don't feel that I'm doing something ethically or whatever, but again, I do what's right at my channel. What you do at your channel is a whole different situation. You want to do that at your channel, that's fine, but don't bring my channel in and say that, oh, because I'm not doing it your way is the right way. This is what I do. My customers know what I like, or what I do, what they like. They know I'm efficient. They know I'm very thorough. They know what I explain the things. And if they don't understand that, they know they can come to me and ask me a question. If you don't do the same for your people at your channel, that's your problem. That's not my problem. And to bring somebody else down for that is really ridiculous, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. You guys can agree with me or disagree with me. But again, that allows you guys to switch the channel. You guys can choose who you want to watch and go from there. But that's how I do it. I've never had a problem with people saying, Jenny, you don't tell us enough about the stuff. You don't tell us enough about the jewelry. You want I just spent 2 hours telling you about myself for the last 2 hours and what I showed you. So I don't know what else to say, except there's the proof's in the pudding. So as time goes on here, as I say, I now have been doing this for 2.5 years. There's always going to be the naysayers and say, oh, people come and go, people come and go, people come and go. But at the end of the day, I just keep pushing along. So keep it as what it is. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Thelma. Yeah, I know it's paint and place. You know what I say sometimes, Thelma? Well, it's either one of two things. I'll say, is this high school drama, or is this play school, or is this romper room? Sometimes I wake up every morning like, is this romper room? And if it's a little bit more raunchy stuff, then you're talking about, is this high school drama? And I'll be honest with you guys. You want to know about me in high school? I'll tell you about this. I hung out with the guys. Now I was like more of a tomboy in high school. If that kind of, you guys gonna get that. The girls were doing their whole thing, la 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 la, talking. I was never part of the popular clique. I did sports. I played tennis, and I was a bowler. Actually, I bowled in high school, and I was a tennis player. I could beat the boys all day long, though. But one thing about guys, and I will learn about that, at least what I found, is that they don't deal with all of that. They would come to me and say, Jenny, why do the girls talk like that? Why can't they just be more straightforward like you? I said, I don't know. I said, because I don't want to deal with all that stuff. It's ridiculous. I just don't want to get into it. It's so petty. It's like so stuffed. It's like, just get to the point. And so I don't know. I just always could relate to guys better than what it needed to be said. And moving forward in life, I've dealt with girls too. I mean, I'm not saying I'm classifying, it's just the ones I dealt with in high school were like that. I wasn't a cheerleader, I wasn't a pom pom squad. Again, I was a tennis player and a bowler. But I was always the responsible one. The girls wanted to go to the party, or my friends wanted to go to the party. I was the one driving, so didn't drink. Even to this day, I don't really drink. I maybe have a glass of wine once in a while. That's about it. But I was always at the party. They're all getting crazy, and I'm sitting there with the guys on the couch, like, well, what's your So I'm sitting there with guys because they're all asking me questions. Why aren't you doing drinking? I said, well, first, I'm driving. I'm not going to do that. And second, I think these people are acting stupid. I'm just here. But they're like, well, why are you friends with them? I said, well, because I just sometimes when they're not drinking, they're actually nice people. But then I have to be the one to be responsible to take them home. And so I don't know. I didn't anyway. But that's just me, you know. So anyway. Yeah, guys don't like to gossip. That's right. They just get to the point. They're, you ask my husband, he was 20, he was in the army for 26 years. He joined when he was 17 years old, my husband. And my husband's gonna be 60 this month or in December. We're both December babies. So he'll be 60 and I'll be 53. So 7 year difference between Joe and I. So and there's 7 years between my parents too. Isn't that kind of ironic too? But anyway. Anyway, but he dealt with a lot of different personalities, even in the army. He says I would deal with a whole bunch of people, and what's part of it is being understanding, but also being firm too. So I think when we got into this, he felt it as, and I have to give my husband kudos. He's the one who got. He says, you know what, if I get this technology figured out for you, Jen, you just get in front of the camera and you do what you need to do with everybody and explaining what's about the jewelry and how much you know and what you can share. He is more of um the thinker. He's the thinker. He's like the planner, the thinker, and what to do, this or that. So but together we make a good team. So when I was first working at the hospital and I was doing this one day a week, if you guys would send me an email, I call them home at lunch. It was like clockwork every day. When I take lunch at the hospital, I call home what's going on in 30 minutes to get, well, so and so sending you an email. Do you know anything about that? Okay. Do you know that? He would go find the jewelry. He knows like what question was about what, and he would go to tell me about this. And they said, okay. But he's really, really good. He helps you guys. He gets all your packages from me. He's the one who came up with the brainchild about the logo, one of the new packaging with getting things shipped out in a very quick manner. He's the one who goes to the post office and gets things done. So, I mean, when I'm doing all this, sitting at my desk, trying to get all this stuff figured out for you guys, he's doing things behind the scenes, trying to make things efficient, make things better for you. So, if anybody ever says, I mean, I don't like that at all. However, everybody does their own channel, that's great. But for me, I would be nowhere without my husband. I'm gonna give him. He's part owner. If you guys want to even see, we're an LLC. You get my packaging. He's half owner and I'm half owner. So if he thinks he's my plus one, or he's just, oh, you're lucky to have him there. Well, yes, I am very lucky to have my husband here. But I also know that he also thinks a lot and also can get things done for you guys. Things that you guys don't see behind the scenes. Things that that I don't even think of sometimes. But he gets it prepared. You should see what's going on. If I showed you my packaging inventory, it takes up a whole room because he says he ordered some mailers today, and he's like, the bubble mailers came. All these boxes came to the door like last 2 days, and were like big, huge boxes, and he put them away. And I said, what the heck? He said, well, they had a sale so before the holidays, so I got all this extra packing material. So hopefully you guys buy a lot of packing mailers because we have packing mailers up the kazoo. So, but anyway. Hi T, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, sorry, Francis. Well, I'm gonna go, honey. I'm gonna go. I think you got the gist of the conversation. I'll have to do this another time, but yeah, I should go. I should need to get up. I want everybody have a good night. Um, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being supportive. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, I see that 27 of you guys are still here, which I appreciate so much. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central. And again, I really encourage you guys, if you're looking at, these are just what I showed earlier in this feed was just what I did for a haul. But if there's something you want to see, um, again, I don't pull everything out every show. I don't pull out the gold or what, or if there's something you sell a ring, I do the highlight shorts, which I'm trying to get better at, trying to put more inventory out there again. And yeah, so some prayers to Francis. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Yeah. So I again thank you guys for letting me talk to you guys on a personal level. It means a lot to me that I can do that. And Joe says his love too. I know he just came in and wanted to know I was still chatting for 2 hours. He's like, you coming to bed? So I'm gonna sign off. Thank you guys so much. And hopefully you guys will come to the show tomorrow. If not, I'll see you Tuesday. And we'll have some fun. Okay. All right. How you doing, T? Are you doing okay? I made you laugh, Francis. Oh, well, I mean, I will say one thing. Well, that's not a lot of things, but let's just say, my thing is that, um, I took a little step from my father. My father was a very ad lib kind of guy, but he always told me, he says, Jenny, you never know what people are going through. And sometimes a simple gesture of kindness can change so much. And I never really knew that until I actually became a little, man, when you're a young kid growing up as, from your parents, you're kind of like, okay, all right, whatever. Until you get out in the real world and you really figure out there's other people in life that might have it worse off than you. And then you see that a lot. Yeah. And so I always said to myself, you know what? You see them crying in front of you and things like that. It tears you up, tears you up. So when I see people here that are hurting physically, emotionally, things like that, it means a lot to me that I can be a part of that, at least of giving you a smile and a positive thought for the day. And um, when it comes to me speaking my mind, like I did for the last hour, it means a lot to me that I can do that to you guys, with you guys. But also understand too, I'm putting myself out there. Believe me, I'm probably going to get a lot of criticism from what I just did, but I don't care. I don't care because this is what I do. This is me. And if anybody's got a question about it, 23 or how many people I had, 31 people at one time in here are going to see me. I'm going to also watch this video again, but also know this is what you get with me. And bring it on. So you got a question? Bring it to me. I don't care. But moving forward, I don't want to keep having this discussion. I really don't. I think that you guys pretty much get it. I don't want to come across as being aggressive. I don't want to come across as this. I just find it plain and simple. Simple. Keep it simple, stupid. That's why I tell you the story about me going back to college and floppy disks and things like that. So it's like I've had to overcome a lot of stuff in the last few, not only that, but certain things. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that very much. I do, but it means a lot. It means a lot. So just be kind. Just be kind. And if you can, that's all I can say. And pay it forward. And you never know what that might mean to people, especially Thanksgiving is one day out of the whole 365 days a year, right? Being thankful, right? I try to remind myself every morning. I come into this office after I have breakfast with my husband and things like that, and I come and sit down. Like I said, here we go, and I look at this. I look at this and I say, what are we gonna do today? What are we gonna do to show some love today? And that's what I do. But I also know that I do take a lot of time when I do this. I take enough time away from what I need to do with my family life too. So there's a sacrifice too. Don't get me wrong. And I try to balance it out as much as I can. So, all right, you guys, I appreciate it. Hopefully I wasn't too overwhelming or too much for you guys to handle it. Third, whatever time zone you're in, 2:30, 11:30. I don't know where you're at, but I appreciate it so much. Yeah, I see the hearts there. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't subscribed, here we go with the little montage here, a little commercial public service announcement. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon at the top of the page. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't done that already. And we'll see you tomorrow at 2. Okay. And I appreciate what I'm seeing here. It makes me feel I'm doing the best as I can possibly do. I basically bared my soul to you guys tonight. So, but I also think that you guys as a community understand what, as resellers, at least in my with my position. I mean, if you care about, I know there's many other resellers out there, but in my position, this is what I take a stand on and what I think this firm is true. So just keep that in mind. I've gone over a few things to put in the back of your head and see how you think. And you just say, oh, okay, that's what Jen kind of says is pretty much true. We come to look at jewelry, have some fun, and be educated about what we're buying if you choose to buy. If not, just come to have some fun and we'll learn something about jewelry. I have people come to my show, literally, they say, Jen, I come to your show. Every time I come to one of your live sales, I learn something new. Not by, but they find it fascinating. They say, I never, and I don't even know what I'm going to teach you guys one time. I'll be just talking about a piece of jewelry and all of a sudden I'll pick something pops in my head and I'm like, oh, or how something's constructed or how it's, well, this. I don't have a script per se. It's like, I feel like it has to be written down. I mean, I have notes and things about what I have, but I mean, if I have to written about what I have to talk about, it's like, you're not going to get the authentic Jen. And so sometimes I feel like I just go ad lib and basically show you, this is what I've got. This is what we're going to talk about. I'd be showing something else and we're talking about this characteristic. And I bring up, look at how well it's got an under gallery. What's that, Jen? Oh, see how it's got a carriage at the bottom of the ring? Oh, that's what an under gallery is called. We didn't know that. So anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. It's been fun. Thank you so much for the time, as always. And 2 o'clock tomorrow, that's literally, 12 hours from now. So we'll see you then. Okay. Love you. Hugs. And Leonore, I'm sorry if I kept you up so late. You're probably already falling asleep. Thank you, Thelma, for being here. T, Francis, Lisa. Who else did I miss? I know Meldine. I'm sure I'd be yelling because Lisa, Elizabeth Hogue, Jamie Lynn, Deborah, Merche, Constance, Mia, Carrie. Who else did I miss? Did I miss anybody? I think I got them all. Did I get them ready? If I missed you, if I missed you, I'm sorry. But I want to go to bed. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Love you guys. Have a good night. Take care.